What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode. Generally speaking, the PLD Project show where we are going to fight, claw, all that stuff as we rank and tier rank different items. This week, we are doing the 1994 in film. This should be a fun one. But before I do anything more with that, let's talk about my esteemed, lovely, intelligent, wonderful panel and Jake Yakavetta.
You motherfucker.
Yep. How are you, Jake? It's good to see you, as always. Really. Next to me here, we do have the lovely, the wonderful, the talented Kelsey Kirkland. My dear, how are you doing? We just saw each other on Chill. What's changed in the last, 20 minutes?
I have a beer now, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
All of a sudden, we're better already. We're feeling better already.
It's going to be a fun time.
We do have Mr. Buckingham below me. Cash, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. I am excited to hopefully get some yelling going on here because we got some interesting movies on this list that I kept looking. I'm like, oh, I love that. Oh, I love that one too. It's gonna be so hard. I'm like, I gotta do this right. I can't think back to when I was 5-6 years old when I saw a lot of these movies.
Oh, I will. I wasn't 5 or 6. I actually graduated high school this year because I'm old.
Damn, you are fucking old.
I'm ancient. Yes. One. So that's okay. Next thing we got Mr. Robert Adams from the Cine Fanatics. Always good to have you on our PLD Product tier rankings. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing fantastic. This is easily one of my favorite years of movies ever. Like I was telling them before we got started, there's some of these movies that I feel like are just going to go straight to S tier without any arguments at all whatsoever. So this is going to be fun to rank some of these.
Well, to find out on that, I always like to think that, and then tier ranking actually happens. Next to Robert is, of course, my favorite lovely co-host from Chill to Action. I just hung out with her for a little while as well, and she is the one who actually suggested this list. So we're doing it for her because I love her. Miss Danny Joy, how are you doing now?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on PLD Projects, Paul. 1994 was definitely one of my favorite years for movies. 94, 95 was a big year for not only movies, but music as well. So big years, big defining years for me personally. And I think anyone that was born in the late 80s, any millennials can definitely relate to 90s movies, 90s music, and stuff like this. But I personally feel like 94 was a very, very pinnacle year for movie releases and music. So look into the music that came out in 1994 as well.
A lot of fun. That's true. That's very, very true. Last but not least, one of my favorite people on the interwebs. He's got talent. He's got charisma. He's got a mustache that rivals mine. He is my alcoholic nephew.
It's better than yours.
Where is this one? Okay. A mustache that rivals my own. My alcoholic nephew, as they like to call himself, Justin the Juice, my friend. How are you?
What's Juice and Juicers? I am just ready to fight and hope that Three Ninjas Kickback is on this tier list.
Oh, not only is it on this tier list, I believe it's actually the first one we're going to be talking about. So, without further ado, we're going to show the list.
Did you not say Kelsey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I don't listen when you speak.
Obviously. But actually, one more thing I do want to say is we've had some fights on the stream. We've actually had some knock 'em down brawls, and Kelsey and I were arguing for weeks on after ends. So we're trying to change up a little bit to see what we can do. I like what you're saying there, Robert. I do like what you're saying there.
Oh, I didn't say anything. I just coughed.
Dairy.
We are going to have a new little rules we're going to put in place. I'm going to share my screen. Let's get this up there. This is our listing of films. We have the S tier down to the haven't seen tier. S tier is going to be 7 slots instead of 5. 7 slots instead of 5. That'll hopefully give us a little more room to work with, a little more give and take. We're going to have 7 there and then 10 to the rest. And then we have this haven't seen slot. And this will hopefully be something that will be a quick a way to quicken things along sometimes. We're going to have this panel of right now 7. This could be 8 later on. We have some guests that might straggle in there. But for right now, if 4 people have seen the movie, we can rate it. If 3 people have not seen the movie, then we are putting it into the haven't seen pile and not ranking it no matter what. Even if it's a great film. Opposite. I say 4th rank.
Yeah.
Okay. Opposite. That's why Danny.
You got it, though. You got it.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what we're. You know what I'm trying to say. Danny's always 15
That damn age.
It is.
It's
I
really
forget
starting to go.
He knew what he was
Right.
saying. He just had to say it really fast.
That's what it was, and that's what it was. So it'll be quick.
I got you, Paul.
Done. Thank you. That's why I love you. So we will do that, and I'll make things easier. And we both there. So without further ado, you know what? Let's just jump right to it. And the first one we have on that list, it is Three Ninjas Kick Back, the sequel to Three Ninjas. And Juice, you were so excited about it. I want you to talk first about it. Where are you going to put it? First of all, what do you think right off the top of the
Easy S tier.
easy S tier?
Do we want to go through and see who's seen it first before we talk about ranking?
I think it takes up too much time to do it that way, honestly. Because we can. Okay, you know. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like going through before. All right. Who has seen it? Has everybody seen this film? Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's the majority. All right. Now we'll move on. Good idea, Robert. We'll do it that way. Go ahead, Juice. Where are your thoughts on this?
This was a childhood favorite for mine. It's definitely not as good as the first one, but this was like something I rented out of the library probably once or twice a week for probably many months. So this was huge. I mean, it's got everything you want. They go to Japan. They fight, ninjas.
That's true.
I think if I remember. No, it's got a lot of great jokes. It's got a lot of great action. I'm sure, if you watch it today through his eyes, it's dated and all that, whatever. But watching through it in the lens of a kid's eyes, and you're basically just watching just the best of all cinema. So
I never seen anybody quite say that. The Three Ninjas, best of the best of all cinema, but I like it.
Best of the best is another martial arts movie.
That's right. And no, Ferris, this is not the Chris Farley movie. Chris Farley, you're thinking of Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah.
This is the three kids who end up being ninjas. I'll talk quickly. I don't have a lot of memories of this film, I'll be honest with you. I definitely saw it, and I liked it, and I thought it was great for what it was, but I don't know. I think anybody else have a ranking besides Justin at this point where they thought this should be? Danny?
The problem is all three of them, they mix together for me, so I'm trying to remember this one in particular.
Yeah, was this the one where they had the Game Gear?
No.
No, it's not.
They're on a softball
that?
team, baseball team in this one.
Yes.
I don't remember anything of this movie. I remember the first one. I don't remember the second one. I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Go ahead, Danny.
So since no one here seems to remember the classic cinema that is the Three Ninjas franchise, thank you, Justin, for appreciating this movie as much as I do. This was honestly, y'all, this was one of my favorite franchises growing up. I was a big Ninja Turtles fan, so ninjas was a big thing growing up for me, and Three Ninjas, that franchise, was absolutely, honestly, one of my favorite things to watch as a kid. I did watch this movie. I remember this movie very well. Let me get the name really quickly. Victor Wong, who plays Grandpa Mori in this franchise, does such a wonderful job in this. The whole franchise is so great. So Kickback was really fun because you got to see this continuation of the story. They do get to go to Japan in this. What was fun was this came out in 1994 when a big Americana was a very big thing. So for these three brothers to ditch their baseball game to go and fight for their grandpa in Japan as ninjas. I remember one of the opening scenes in this movie, and it was on like a ship, like on a battleship, basically. And it was this like a ninja covert scene with their grandpa. It was so much fun. I genuinely love this movie. You're putting it in the C tier, and I'm hurting my feelings. I would agree with Justin and put this in the S tier, and just because that is one of the greatest movies. I'm only gonna put it in an S tier for now, just because I need to see where all of these movies. But as the first movie in this, I'm gonna put a pretty high up in there because this was a very influential movie for me as a kid in 1994. I love this movie. I love this franchise, and it should definitely be higher up in there.
Well, just for the record, I always kind of throw things in seed until we talk about it. Just kind of bring it up, put it there, and then we talk about it, then we actually make a determination. So, all right, I don't want to spend a whole lot. We have a lot of ones to go through. Unless somebody has any stronger feelings, we can vote on tiers or whatever. I can't put an S tier myself at this point. I don't know about everybody else, but I would say I can start it today.
I do have something to say about it.
Go ahead.
Obviously, I mixed up Three Ninjas and Surf Ninjas, so it wasn't good enough to stand out on its own for me. So I wouldn't put it higher than B myself.
Okay, but Surf Ninjas was also good.
Because it's the first one, I'll throw it an A for now, and then we can, because it probably will get pushed down and start at say but at least for now, I'll give you the satisfaction of A tier for now, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay, but next we got A Troll in Central Park. I have not seen this movie.
I haven't seen it either.
I haven't either.
I think I've seen it, but I couldn't tell you anything that happened.
I think that's at least 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
I have. Okay, so as someone who has seen this movie, no one else has, definitely go and check this movie out. If you were a fan of any animated movies in the 90s, this definitely falls into the same storyline, all of that stuff. It really is a great movie. If you have, I don't know what platform you can find it on, but if you have kids right now, definitely show them this movie. It's a great movie.
All right. Ace Ventura. Wow, this one for me almost goes automatically S tier for me in 94.
I would almost say that too. That's definitely high A if for the most part.
I fucking hate those movies.
I would put it in an F.
I love these movies. They were very influential at me when I watched them for the first time. That's where I learned what oral sex was, and you saw what happened to me.
Wow.
It was very impactful.
Oh, that's
Thank
right.
you, Ace Ventura.
Thank you, Ace Ventura, for that. It's just a fun movie. I like, even though I don't like football, all of the football references I understand are because of this movie. I'm like, oh, laces out. Like, I know things because of this movie.
Sports ball.
It is the first real Jim Carrey movie. I mean, like, he obviously had some before. This is the one that made him just as much as what he is as what he was in the 90s, especially. So I am willing myself to put it into S tier for now to start it off with. If anybody else has
I think it will end up moving down to A because I think there's 7 other movies on this list that are better.
Right.
But I'm fine with it at S for now.
Yeah.
I'm good with S because of Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Dan
Marino.
I know who he is because of this movie.
Einhorn is Finkel.
I do want to say, look, I do want to say that I would absolutely 100% agree with it being an S tier for the type of movie that it is. But there's definitely a big asterisk on it when it comes to dealing with trans rights and stuff and trans representation in it. That's the only thing. But this is 1994. Thank God that we have come a very long way from what this movie represents from then. So
absolutely right. I will say that is definitely of its time. I'm not going to.
But I'd still put it in S tier.
So S tier for that. All right. I'll now. Sorry, Jake.
Not my kind of humor. Yeah, I didn't like it.
That's perfectly fine. How about Airheads?
Haven't seen it.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Who has not? We're going to say every time we'll say who has not seen it. If you have not seen it, let me know.
I have seen it, but I don't have enough to contribute to the conversation. But I have seen it, so it qualifies. So.
I have not seen it.
Okay, so it qualifies.
I have.
I will say, then I will open up and say this is a solid Adam Sandler movie before Adam Sandler was really a thing. He didn't really become quite the Adam Sandler we know and love. But it's got Steve Buscemi in it. It's got Brendan Fraser. It's actually a very funny film. I find it a very underrated film. There's a lot that goes on here that is very. It's a memorable film if you've seen it, but I feel like it's gotten lost over time.
Is this
maybe
that hold the radio station hostage or whatever?
Yes. The band that holds the radio station hostage. It's a big rock and roll It's one of those movies that seem to happen a lot, like where radio stations, people decide to rebel against current radio and they try to get real music back on the air. It happens like every decade. people complain about whatever the current radio thing is. I think they're trying to do it a country at this point, so they want to keep it rock and roll. I like it a lot, but I could definitely not going to say it S tier. I would definitely put it in a B tier for me.
Yeah, I think B is fair.
It's a solid B.
Damn,
I agree.
I could-
how did I watch this? I'm trying to find out where I can find to watch it.
I know I need to rewatch it. I know
so
I've seen
good.
it, but I couldn't tell you much about it. I knew it's about radio and stuff. That's about it.
Is it
So-
not
Me, Sandler, and Frasier, like that. I'm like,
Great. And Buscemi.
And Buscemi, yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm
so
like-
Airheads,
Michael Richardson's in it.
Yep.
Airheads was a fun movie for me at this time because this was genuinely a time where I was myself discovering my own music. I was very much influenced by what my mom listened to, what my dad listened to, what my older brothers listened to. And around this time frame, like 1990, this is why 94 and 95 are such important years in movies and music for me, because I feel like these were the years that I was finding myself as a person. And Airheads was actually one of the movies that helped me move along into my more rock side. So being able to have this like rock sort of thing in movies and understand that a little bit more made me love this movie more than I should have at that time, because I might have put it at the A tier and let it slide down wherever it needed to. But I'll agree and say that it definitely should be around a B tier, because that is what the movie was. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, but I do remember what this movie represented for me as a kid, and it was definitely getting into a little bit of a heavier music scene for me. So that's where this movie was important for me. Overall.
I wanted to throw in there, you listen to this cast and the cameos involved. Also got Joe Mantegna, Michael
Yep.
McKean, Chris Farley, Ernie Hudson, Judd Nelson,
There's a lot
David
of people in
Arquette,
this movie.
Harold Ramis, Rob Zombie, Kurt Loder, Lemmy Kilmister, Galactic Cowboys, Mike Judge, White Zombie. These are a lot of people in this. And
All reasons
just
to
said
listen to
David
rock
Arquette
music.
and Kurt Loder is good cameos.
I would say they're of the time at that
Memorable.
time, absolutely memorable cameos at that time.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I will say
Okay.
also, honestly, I'll put up the A tier now since we put Three Ninjas up there. I would actually rank Airheads above Three Ninjas.
I
Kick
would.
Back for me.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would too.
Yes.
I would too.
Yeah,
I
I would also.
So, all right, we'll go with that. Let's go to the next one then. Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, that has to go high.
A tier.
That's
A
Okay, wait,
tier.
wait.
That's A
A tier,
tier.
baby.
Is there anybody who hasn't seen it yet first? Let's do that first. Anybody? Okay, we've all seen it. Okay, good. All right.
that's very high A tier.
Yeah,
I'd
it is.
put it
So
above
my-
Airheads.
I
So
would too.
my grandparents had this on VHS when I was younger. I watched it so much I wore out the VHS tape. Like there were a lot of movies in the mid '90s that I did that with. Like I did with this, E.T., Hook. Like I would watch them like consistently for months on end, and then I'm like, it's not working anymore. And then they because he watched it too much.
It might be my favorite Christopher Lloyd movie over Back to the Future.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will say it's probably one of my favorite Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies.
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Wait.
A lot
yes,
of great actors in it before they were famous.
yeah, that's true.
And his little brother, his little adopted
Hey,
brother.
it could happen.
Yeah. Yes, it could happen. That was so fucking inspirational as a kid.
I believe the woman that took care of him was Brenda Fricker from Home Alone
Home
2,
Alone
Lost in
2.
New York.
Yes.
Pigeon.
Yeah, the Pigeon Lady.
Mhm.
Vision Lady.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
then Danny Glover, like some of the baseball players on the team. I think like Nick Nolte, or not Nick Nolte.
Gary Busey.
Gary
Gary
Busey was
Busey.
on there.
Tomato. Yes.
The guy who played Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America: First Avenger.
Oh,
What's his name?
he's a guy from Neil McDonough.
Yes.
Neil
Yep.
McDonough.
Yes. Yeah, Neil McDonough is always great.
And also real life ball player Carney Lansford's in it as well. So I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a great movie.
Again, 1994 was a big year for me. I grew up in a baseball family. My brothers played baseball their entire lives. My mom played baseball. I played softball. All of them and stuff. So this movie coming out when I was this age was also a big thing for me. I absolutely love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Danny Glover in this movie, Christopher Lloyd. It was such an inspirational movie in a way that just kind of made you believe in yourself, because as a kid, watching this movie made you feel like you could be that kid that was like, if you just believed in yourself. Like, that was one of the most important things about this movie, was faith in yourself. Regardless of where this movie was in terms of spirituality or anything, ultimately the bottom line is believing in yourself. And that movie resonated with me in so many ways that I think I really looked at it way more in a deeper sense that it could be taken of, because I don't think a lot of people give that movie credit for what it actually was. But it was a movie that was sort of based on faith, but also based on the American ideology of baseball, because baseball is rooted in such American tradition that most Americans just kind of turn to baseball as the sport that we go to, at least for me and where I grew up in and all of that stuff. So Angels in the Outfield is a huge movie for me. If this isn't going to go in an S tier, then I definitely believe that it should go in a very high A tier, especially for anyone who grew up as a young kid in the 90s. This movie meant so much to me as a child. Watching this.
Absolutely.
I'll go with A tier for now. We'll go for A tier for now.
It's very high A tier.
I had opinions
Go ahead.
that were contradictory.
Go ahead.
I was a kid in the 90s. I did not like this movie. I also am not, I don't like angel type movies. It's not that it's a sports ball. I just could not relate to any of the characters. It wasn't inspirational to me. It was just like a movie that my parents maybe watched when we didn't have anything else to watch.
All right.
So to me, it's C tier, but I'm not going to make you move it. I just wanted to make sure that I said my piece, because I didn't.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
I actually, the funny thing is not one I actually watched a whole lot. I did like it a lot, and I did have good, solid feelings for it. But as far as that, I would actually put Airheads over it myself. But I don't argue that too much yet either. So we'll go with that for now and keep it there. I'm not going to put it S tier, but A tier seems right for me.
You know who is also in this movie that I think a lot of people...
Who else was in this? Tony Danza, Adrian Brody, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Tony Danza in this movie.
Yeah.
I love Tony Danza in this movie. I forgot Matthew McConaughey was in this. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Maroney.
Don't worry. All right, Baby's Day Out. I have not seen this movie.
I haven't either.
Not seen it.
I don't think I have either. I may have, but I have no memory.
This is one of those really fun 90s movie. It's literally about a baby that just fucking wanders around and crawls around into like scaffold buildings. Like, imagine New York City and like a building being built and like these weird platforms like coming up, and it's a baby crawling across it, and it's these two kidnappers who are trying to save this baby basically from running amok in New York City. It's definitely a fun 90s movie, definitely in the vein of most 90s kids movies. I enjoyed this movie very much when I was a kid, so I understand if no one else has watched this, but if I was going to rank this, I would definitely put this in a lower B tier for myself.
Okay, person. All right, how about Beverly Hills Cop 3? Anybody not seen it?
Haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. They kind of... I enjoy the Beverly Hills Cop movies, but they kind of blend together, so I couldn't tell you what happens in one over the other, if that makes sense.
Okay, it does. I have seen it quite a few times.
I would put it in B.
I would put it actually in C myself as well, because here's the reason why I say that is that it's definitely the least of the Beverly Hills Cop by far. Like, Beverly Hills Cop 1 is great. Beverly Hills Cop 2, I like it a lot. 3 is just kind of tired and boring, and like Eddie Murphy feels like he's done at that point with this whole movie. And so it never really did anything for me. I didn't like it on a rewatch. I never really liked it even when I first saw it. It's like one of those inoffensive films. Like, you kind of watch it, you're like, okay, you watch it, I'll fit.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling that he was just finishing out the sequel and didn't try too hard.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would put it low B, C myself.
I mean, I literally could see it even falling into D, but I for now, because of where it is so far, and we only have this many films so far, I'll bump it up to B for now. But I feel like it's going to be the one that's going to go down low by the end of the.
It could fall there with the other quality films that came out this year.
Oh, that's
All right. Blank check. Never saw
It's an S tier. Let's do it.
Fucking love it. That is S tier all the fucking way.
It's a great movie. It's a great
Dude,
movie.
I love this movie.
I love it so much.
Okay, wait. Who hasn't seen it?
Me.
Paul? Who else? Just Paul?
Paul, it's on. Well, it was on Disney Plus. I don't know if it's there anymore.
All right. My ultimate dream is to have a fucking water slide from my bedroom window into the pool. That's the coolest thing ever. Blank check.
This movie started capitalism and like what we wanted to do as 90s kids. Like my whole dream of like what rich is because of this movie. I need a mansion, I need a water slide, I need all this very
The fact that we have Juice in here, and Juice is a major part of that movie. Fucking Tone Loc.
This is a film.
S tier.
There's a film that holds an approval rating of 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Just so you know.
I don't give
Who
a
fucking cares
fuck
about?
they say.
Well,
Why do
Mark
people
covers
always
that
have to
on
bring
Rotten
up?
Tomatoes is wrong. It's coming.
Rotten Tomatoes is wrong. Please go and watch that podcast.
It's
with
so
Mark
good.
Allen and I cannot remember her name, but
She's great.
Jason Corbett.
Why does the score on Rotten Tomatoes have to be a point when you argue a movie?
I'm not.
I don't like
arguing
it.
That way. I'm just specifically saying that I've never seen this
It
film.
doesn't
I'm looking
matter
for
what the
reception.
score on Rotten Tomatoes is.
It just means a lot of people.
what your name is.
I
No,
think Blank
Paul,
Check should be on
that
B
shit goes over Airheads all day.
Oh, it
tier.
better go
I
over
think it
Airheads.
should be on B tier. It's a great
Yeah.
movie, but compared to what's on A tier, I do think
I put
that
it right below Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah,
for me.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be
Fine with
mad at it.
Airhead.
Dude, he has like an
Right.
entire just like crate of just ice cream and all these fillings. Like
Yo!
every time I watch that, I'm like, Mom, can we go ahead and get this right now? I want this. I want all these sweets right now.
Motherfucker had semi trucks bringing him toys and shit.
Yes.
That movie is
That was
so
a dream.
good. Go and watch that movie. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Can you imagine though
Oh,
if they did a movie like that? Like, how much would the blank check be for now?
It'd be
Like what? 1 billion?
No,
$1 billion.
It was a
You know what?
million.
probably would
but-
be for a bill. It probably would be for a good bill.
All right.
Oh, what's up, AJ?
What's
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday to
Thank you,
AJ.
sir.
Happy birthday,
Raj.
Raj.
Cheers.
Thanks,
guys.
AJ, you want to see what we have so far? We have rules. First of all. We have
seen.
rules. But our rules are 7 S tier slots. If we haven't, now that there's 8 of us, if 4 of us haven't seen the movie, then we are going to put it in this and not rank it.
So what's the haven't seen?
So far, The Troll in Central Park and Baby's Day Out.
Yeah, nope.
Okay. And right now we have Ace Ventura in S tier, Angels in Outfield, Blank Check, Airheads, and Three Ninjas in A, Beverly Hills Cop 3 in B, and now we're looking at Blue Sky. Is there anything that's egregious to you right now? Just curiously. We're not going to move it, but just
No.
kind of curious. Nothing? Okay.
No, this is going well.
All right. Blue Sky. I have not seen this movie.
Never seen it.
It's Jessica Lange, Tommy Lee Jones, Powers Booth. Anybody else? Okay.
I don't know, but I want to watch this movie. Jessica Lange,
There we go.
Tommy Lee Jones in a romantic movie. Okay.
And I'm always down for some Powers Booth, man.
I love Powers Booth.
Dude.
It's a drama romance. I am.
I was
here.
gonna say in an effort to make this faster, if we really haven't seen the movie, let's just like stick it.
Yeah,
haven't
everybody
seen
should
and
at
move
this point.
on.
All right. Bullets Over Broadway. I saw it
No,
once.
haven't
a
seen
long
it.
time
I haven't
ago.
seen it.
Okay. I only saw it once a long, long time ago. NFL Caleb. That's all right, buddy. You got some movies to watch. It's all right.
He's a
Ace
Cowboys
Ventura?
fan. He's a Cowboys fan, so he's probably only seen anything with movies based in Texas.
Yo, Brandon,
Hey,
I'm gonna need you to shush.
There you go.
Did you see them play tonight?
Made 94.
Did you see
Caleb
them
is a
play
good
tonight?
dude, though.
Oh,
Thank
God.
That's fact.
I'm still gonna need you to shush.
Anyway,
Let's
Chunking
move on,
Express.
Paul. Move
Chunking
on, Paul.
Express. I don't know
Haven't
anything
seen
about it.
I have not seen it.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Clear and present danger. Okay, Harrison Ford.
Okay, that's
Jack Ryan.
B.
B tier.
Yeah, I could agree
B.
with B.
I'd put
enjoyed
it
it.
above Three Ninjas myself. To be
I
honest with you.
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
this
Three
movie in a
Ninjas, but-
very long time, but I do remember seeing this movie when I was younger, definitely after 1994. My mom worked at Hollywood Video, so I watched a lot of random movies, and Clear and Present Danger was one of those random movies that I watched because I had the biggest crush on Harrison Ford. I genuinely
you did.
I genuinely remember enjoying this movie as a kid because I definitely did not watch it at any point in time past 1999. I watched it somewhere between 94 and 99, and it's lost in the rest of my brain, other than the fact that Harrison Ford moved those loins, y'all.
Yeah, you did.
I watched it a couple weeks ago, and it's B. It's not that great.
I watched it about a month and a half ago. So I thought it was pretty good. I would put it over Three Ninjas if you're going to do that at this point.
No.
I wouldn't put it over Three Ninjas. I wouldn't know where to put this, but I would probably rank it in a B.
I put it right behind Three Ninjas. It's less iconic.
It's Three Ninjas kick back, by the
If
way.
I were to use the word iconic,
Yeah,
Clear and Present
exactly.
Danger is less
Paul.
than Three Ninjas.
It's not the original Three Ninjas. It's Three Ninjas Kickback. So
It's
All
not
I
a-
see
part
is
two isn't a
one
bad
movie has three
They both
people
have tum
in a karate pose, and one just has a face shot. That tells
But
you
look what
which
face
one
it is. Do you see that face? That
It is
face
Harrison Ford.
is Harrison Ford.
I'm not going to fight for it, though. I'll let it go for there at this point. I'm not going to fight for that one.
Gotta love Ferris and Horde.
That is actually kind of funny how you have them positioned right now because it looks like the Three Ninjas are kicking at the Airheads.
It's true.
Crossover movie we didn't know we needed.
Okay, Clerk.
S tier.
S tier. This is S tier.
Yeah,
Exactly.
obviously.
Yep.
Okay,
Anybody
moving
have
on to the
another
next one. We like. Is there anything more to say? It's Clerks.
Does anybody argue it
It
at all?
changed film. It defined the 90s from it's S
If,
tier.
if any of you argue against it, I'm taking you off the stream.
I'll say we all agree S tier, right?
Yeah. So let's move
Yeah.
on to the next
Real
one.
quick, whoa, real
decisions.
quick. Does anybody think it's not S tier? Just curious. Okay. moving
Nope.
on. All right, there you go. What is? Oh, this is
Color of Night or
Color of Night. It's a Bruce Willis film, I think.
I have
don't
not
know
seen
what-
it.
Yeah, it's Bruce Willis.
Not seeing it.
Not
Nope.
seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
here's the big argument we're all about to get in right now.
S tier, baby.
All right. I would like to speak last.
I have no real arguments for it. I think it's a good, solid movie. I haven't watched it in years, I'll be honest with you. I have not watched it in years.
I would put it in the middle of A tier.
Yeah.
I'd actually probably I could argue for it being above Angels in the Outfield.
I agree. I like it better than Angels.
It's better than Angels in the Outfield for sure.
No.
I like it. I do
no,
like it better than Angels in the Outfield
no.
myself, to be honest with you.
It's better than the original.
You're-
Anyone
You're
else?
right.
Anyone else? Can I start talking now?
Go ahead, Danny. I sense
I
a
would-
Danny rant coming, so let's do it, Danny.
This is my argument for why D2 The Mighty Ducks should be in S tier. It is not only the best of the Mighty Ducks franchise, but it is also probably one of the best sports movies of all time. It's set in the 90s, in 1994 of all places, and it's the Junior Olympics. These
Just give
kids
her the whole
like
screen.
so. No, don't give me the whole screen. Don't do this. But D2 Mighty Ducks is honestly one of my all-time favorite movies because it's set in the Olympics, which I, as a young child, and I feel like a lot of millennials kind of grew up in this day and age where like the Olympics were a really big thing. I was in gymnastics and all of that thing, so going to the Olympics was actually a big deal. So the Junior Olympics was a really big thing. So for one of my all-time favorite movies, The Mighty Ducks, to go into the Junior Olympics and the way that they did it and had like this wide range, they brought in Daphne the cat, another female, into this all-male dominated sport. Like they didn't even like touch on the fact that like Daphne was a girl in the league, and they didn't even touch on like the gender inside. Daphne just played, and then Kat got to come in and do all of that stuff. So Connie, and then Daphne. Connie was first, and then Daphne came in later. So, anyways, for this to be in the Olympics and the wide range, Luis Guzman, like Luis from Texas being in, or Miami being in there, and then like homeboy from Austin being in there, it was a big deal. So D2 the Mighty Ducks should definitely be an S tier, because that was that's a fucking American movie right there. 100% an American movie, because it shows the wide range of what our country is and what it can be. And it's the Olympics, and it's about coming together as a team and finding what it is. Like, whatever. Who cares?
Who cares, Malcolm? Who cares about the Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm bringing up the piss off Brandon now.
The best Mighty Ducks movie, and
First of
D2
all,
should be in the S tier, and I'm done talking.
It set sports history. No other movie has had a professional sports team name after it. After this movie, the Anaheim hockey
They changed
team.
their logo.
Was it this, or was it the first one that did it? I don't know. I'm just curious.
No,
I don't
two.
know.
It was
I don't know.
this
It was only
movie.
two.
It was this
Yeah, it
one.
was this
It was
one.
two.
Also, I can almost guarantee a good portion of people our age were introduced to Queen due to this movie as well.
Thank
Look at
you.
this
Thank
crowd.
you.
That is
At
true.
the
I
very
did-
end of the credits,
You
you
fucking
play We Are
pandered
the
to Paul.
Champions,
Pandering
and
to the
that is
host.
one of the best covers of We Are the Champions ever played, because you get to enjoy that feeling and excitement of winning the fucking Olympics. This movie is such an inspiring movie to anyone that
The
like
Bush Brothers,
can-
like,
can
come on,
resonate.
like,
Pandering to the host, and I will
Preach it.
approve it.
Preach it, Buck.
Pandering to the host.
Preach it.
So
Thank
pandering
you
to the
so
host
much.
will work. I will
First of
put
all,
it as tier for
as
now.
tier.
pandering to the host. I was just stating a fact. Like, I know for me, this movie is when I was introduced to Queen, and I can almost guarantee that a good portion of people, probably under the age of 35, which Paul's not even close.
I would argue Wayne's World was more
Listen, no, 100%. But here's what I was just about to say.
I would argue
If you did,
Flash Gordon.
Wayne's World came out before D2. So if you were a fan of Wayne's World and you were that young and watching D2, hearing that campfire, like they're sitting in front of a campfire. Like if that's not fucking 90s, like camping is so 90s in a way. Like teenagers like sitting around a fireplace is so fucking 90s in my brain.
Okay.
Like it just makes sense. And then time after time,
It also
like, it's
introduced
so
us to the hilarious
fucking
Keenan
good.
Thompson. The hilarious Keenan
Yes.
All right,
Keenan
all right,
Thompson.
all right.
It didn't, but it
All right.
enhanced
And
it in a way. Okay.
now.
I'm putting an S tier for now. Oh, you've
Thank
heard the
you.
rents.
Thank
We're good to
you.
go.
Thank
I'll put
you.
it as here for
Thank
now.
you.
I have a feeling it's going to get pushed down, but I'll keep it in there for now.
I'll
All right,
fight.
let's move on.
I
better than
just don't want to. I'm not passionate enough to argue against Danny on this right now.
Yeah,
I can literally talk about this movie so much. I genuinely can. The Action Guys did the greatest sports movie of all time, and I was unfortunate enough to not get my ballot in at the right time, but this was the movie that I was going to argue for, and it should have. It's the best one.
All right, Disclosures. Anybody not seen Disclosure?
I have not seen
Haven't
it.
been in
I have no.
Nope.
Haven't seen it.
Make sure you share your screen, Paul.
Oh, thank you. There again. Yeah, that's right. All right. Yeah, I'll put that down. Michael Douglas and Demi Moore. It is a solid thriller, kind of like in the Basic Instinct kind of range. It's the sexual harassment from Demi Moore to Michael Douglas. It's a good movie actually, but I will not. All right, but anyway, Don Juan DeMarco. Never saw it.
Never seen it.
No.
It's a D.
Yeah,
Never seen it.
it's a lower movie. I have seen it. It's a very sexy movie for watching it at that time. I do remember watching it in the 90s. I've only seen it once, but I do remember it being kind of steamy.
Has a good soundtrack.
It does. It's a
Yep.
good soundtrack. That's true. All right, I'll put it at D for now. If enough people have seen it, then I guess we'll just go D and not work about it too much longer for now. I can push down. Double Dragon.
Good lord.
Never seen
No,
it.
sorry.
Solid B! Solid B. Solid B.
I love this movie. It's terrible.
Right.
It is a perfect C tier.
I don't
It
know
is
if
the
I've
perfect.
seen this.
Everything's better. Everything's worse.
Yeah,
I
I agree
love
with that
this
actually.
movie.
I love it for all the wrong reasons. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had to bedazzle those fucking karate gis at the end, and that is
true.
amazing.
I do love it better than I actually like it better than Don Juan DeMarco, so I'll put it in C tier. Has anybody else not seen it? Has enough people not seen it? If you
I
rank
have
it or
not
not?
seen it.
I can't remember if I've seen it. I think I started
Stop.
watching
I
it.
have not.
Danny?
Robert, we need to watch this movie together. Brother, you would love it.
Double Dragon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Scott Wolf and who? Who's the other person in that?
I can't even remember, but this movie honestly is great. So this movie,
there you
I can't remember the year that Mortal Kombat came out, but it is either
5?
before or after. It's very close to this movie, and Mortal Kombat was a game that I had played for a very long time. The early 90s was definitely a time where I was playing video games that had this nature. Double Dragon had this sort of thing behind it, like with the talisman, like where you had to like link them. I know that there was more lore behind it. I can't remember if it was a comic or if it was a show or if it was a game.
It was a game.
It was
Video
early-
game. It was a
it was an
Nintendo
80s
game. So
arcade game.
I find out who the other person was. The other person was Mark Dacascos
Mm.
from Iron Chef, the chairman from Iron Chef.
And
Oh,
Alyssa
yeah.
Milano.
It absolutely
Alyssa
was
Milano
the guy
is in
from
this
Iron
movie.
Chef.
So,
It's
fantastic.
Double Dragon. I did watch Double Dragon. I very, very much enjoyed it. I would personally rank it in either a C or a B tier.
Put it in C.
It's,
I think we'll put it at C for now. Although
I love this movie.
part of me actually likes it better than
fucking
Beverly Hills
sucks.
Cop 3, so I might actually just do this. To be honest with you, I actually like it for the Beverly Hills Cop 3. To be honest with you, anybody disagree with that?
Nah. Sure back.
We can't see your screen.
Kind of indifferent on that.
Yeah.
All right. Good enough.
Yep.
Oh boy, Dumb and Dumber.
S tier. This is S tier.
S.
This is one of the
S.
funniest movies of all time for
It's
me.
ahead of Ace Ventura for sure.
Yeah, I put it ahead of Ace.
You put it ahead of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely ahead of D2.
I personally would put it ahead of Clerks. That's me.
Nah.
No.
Right
No.
there's perfect.
It has so many great one-liners in this movie. Like, I could
Go
quote this
in front of
movie.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Ace Ventura should be
trying to
F
decide whether
tier.
I-
John
I'm
Denver
trying
is
Anyway,
cool as shit.
but
Try to decide whether I should argue for it or not.
I like
All right.
Ace Ventura more than Dumb and Dumber, but I think Dumb and Dumber has better. It was just a more well-liked movie than Ace Ventura.
And it's more culturally relevant, like in the long term.
I love you, Thrud.
I mean,
love you,
I
Thrud.
probably really agree with that. I think I like Ace Ventura a teeny bit better, but just for what it did for a comedy and stuff, I feel like Dumb and Dumber.
But at the same time, Ace, you don't have Dumb and Dumber without Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura,
I mean, that's fair.
Ace Ventura was the first
Yeah, but
one.
Dumb and Dumber, you also
Ace
had
Ventura's garbage.
Dumb and
I
Dumber.
would-
You also had the Farrelly brothers involved in that.
Yeah.
I would put Ace Ventura ahead of Clerks.
You want to hear the most annoying
But I
sound
would
ever?
put Ace Ventura at the very head of all of the movies that are on here. Me personally would put Ace Ventura at the most and put Dumb and Dumber right behind it.
Okay, now what we're gonna do
It's
for now.
not going to matter. They're all going to move down once the
I'm
good
gonna
movies come.
I'm gonna hold this in here just like that for now, and we'll come back to it when we get later. I'm just gonna. We're actually saying it's S tier, so we'll figure it out.
I think
later
you
on.
got one that's about to pop up. Yeah.
Eat, drink, man, woman. Never
That,
saw
doesn't-
it.
that sounds like a great Friday night.
The fuck is that?
Sounds like a party.
I've heard of
That
it,
was-
but I never
That was
watched it.
made for the bisexuals. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
Okay. Ed Wood. Never watched.
I
it.
want to watch
Absolutely.
this so bad.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Ed Wood.
And what it is,
actor, and that's all I
a
know.
solid
One at a
A.
time. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time. How many people have seen it? So Kelsey, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Jake, you've seen it.
It's a solid A.
Hold on. Not worried about that yet. Buck, you've seen it?
No.
No. Robert.
No.
Danny.
Nope.
Juice.
Nope.
AJ.
Yep.
Okay.
Veto.
You're vetoing it. Okay. All right. We do a veto. All right. Fine. You're
That
going to veto
is
it. Ed
A.
Wood. A tier movie.
I guess we got to ask Kelsey and AJ, is it A tier?
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. To me, it's a high B at most, but I wouldn't necessarily argue it being an A. But that's where I'd put it, is high B.
At A currently, it's good.
Okay.
If I were to if someone were to ask me what tier I put it in, I'd say B personally, but good at A.
Where do you
It's
want to
good.
do? Where would you
As-
put it? In far as goes?
Middle. It's gonna get knocked down with the other movies that are coming up, but as of now, I would put it at middle A.
It's a good movie.
It's right there, maybe for now.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine
All
by
right.
me.
All right. We said it before. We didn't even know what the hell this one was. We're not going to go with that
What
one.
is it?
It's the one we just said earlier.
And figure
The
out the
Fatal Fury or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Forrest?
Gump's going straight to S.
This is number one. Forrest Gump is at the top of S tier.
No,
I would
it's not
put it
number
at-
one,
that's-
but it is at the top of S tier.
It's in S tier.
I
would not
put it above Clerks as well.
I would not put it above Clerks.
No.
Behind Clerks.
I would
It's
put it
first
behind
of all,
Clerks.
his best performance for me.
That,
It also
that-
won Best Director and Best Picture.
That's one of
There was a
those.
lot of shit that was heavy-handed, and they just tried too hard. It's an amazing movie, but I wouldn't put it above Clerks.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it over there.
It is one of the four that I would say go to S tier automatically without a second thought.
I could agree with it being
Yeah.
S tier. Absolutely.
How many people put it above Clerks?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I'm kind of curious.
I mean, I might argue for that just because of how significant it is, but I mean, I'm okay with Clerks being above it also.
That's really where I'm at too. I
I mean,
feel it
yeah,
should be
I'm
before,
fine
but I'm not going to
either
fight
way.
either.
All right, then I guess we're gonna keep it right where it is at this point. Then I think it seems like, unless anybody's really strongly gonna argue against it.
No.
All right.
I very much dislike the movie, but I know how people love it, so I'm good where it is.
Fair enough. That's a good argument for me too. I actually probably like it a little less than a lot of other people as well, but I understand where people are coming from as well. 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
I have seen it.
That's fine.
I think
Yeah,
it's a very
B.
solid B tier. B
I
that
agree.
could
You're C.
potentially drop down to a C tier. Like, I'm fine if it goes down
Yeah.
to
That's exactly my opinion as Danielle's. It's like I feel like it could be here, but if it falls to C, I'm not going to fight it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'll put
I'm
it
not
in
gonna
B.
Pretty
I'm
good.
not going to fight anywhere where it ranks, honestly. It's a decent movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's worth
Yeah,
a watch.
it's
I probably
fine.
wouldn't rewatch
Yeah.
it.
Watch it. It's a
I
good
probably
movie.
wouldn't rewatch it. I just wouldn't rewatch it. All right, Heavenly Creatures.
What was that Peter Jackson movie? Have not seen it.
Yeah,
Not
that's one of the ones
seen
I haven't seen either.
I haven't seen it.
Mm-mm.
Which is surprising. I really should have seen it, to be honest. I feel like I should because I love Peter Jackson. But
Is that
so
Kate,
no one-
Kate Winslet on the cover too?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
I
it
have seen it. It's not good.
Really?
I think we can leave it in the haven't seen.
Yeah,
Unless you want to veto it.
Hoop
just
Dream.
keep it there.
Hoop Dreams. I have not seen this.
I have not
Nope.
seen it.
Hey, that is a solid B.
You already lost your
I
veto,
agree
though,
with
Jake.
It is
B.
a solid B tier. Hoop
Wait.
Dreams is definitely a solid B.
Okay, who hasn't seen it? I have not seen it. Anybody else?
Have
seen
not.
it?
Seen it.
Okay,
Yep.
that's-
Oh, well,
Watch
unless Danny
it.
or AJ want to pull their veto.
Mm-mm.
No.
not on that.
Fair enough.
It's fine. It's a good movie.
It
Definitely
is.
watch it.
It is
Yeah,
very
it's a
average.
fine movie.
Very average.
It's a fine movie. If you enjoy basketball, it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
And this is actually true for the haven't seen her is filling up, but hey, that's what it is. What can we do? Il
I know my-
Postino or The Postman. I've heard a lot about it. Never watched
I
it.
have
The
no-
I
Postman.
never watched
Okay,
it.
The Postman is proof that there is no God. That said, it is totally A tier.
Okay,
That's
anybody?
not the Postman though. That's a different. Are
Oh,
you talking
never
about
mind,
the
never mind.
Postman with Kevin Costner?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
totally.
different.
No,
That's not that movie.
Okay, anybody seen it?
No.
All right, we're moving on. I'm gonna move on then. Interview with the Vampire. This is gonna be an interesting one, I think.
S tier.
No.
Wow.
D.
Wow.
My
I didn't like it.
happened in this movie.
Okay,
My
hold on.
obsession with
One time.
vampires.
It is facts.
All right, hold
Woo!
on. Kelsey, go ahead, Kelsey. Say your piece
All
on this.
This movie is one of my favorite movies. I have watched it. I can't even tell you how many times. It's caused me to read the books. How many times I did see the movie before I read the books, and it made me read the books at a probably too young of age. It just, I can't even put into words how I love this movie so much. It's just their chemistry. Like Brad Pitt's chemistry with Tom Cruise is fantastic in those roles. They couldn't have cast them better. Oh, Danielle, help me out with
What
this. I can't
What
remember.
about Brad Pitt's chemistry with Kirsten Dunst when she was 13?
Let Danny
In
go
the
first.
book?
Here's the
Danny,
point.
go.
Here's the point of that great chemistry that you're seeing with that is that shows how well acted that was by Kirsten Dunst at such young of an age, because she had to hold Claudia. Like, Claudia's a fucking woman. Like,
she's a woman in a girl's body.
Old ass woman. She just happens to be in a girl's body. So for Kirsten Dunst to be able to portray that role in the way that she did, I've never read the books. And that's a testament for how well the movie is done, because I've only done the armchair research for it. Like, I've watched as many YouTube videos about Lestat and everything about the Vampire Chronicles with this movie and with the book series and how it works off, and to understand what Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Kirsten Dunst put into this movie, and fucking the one of the most roles that goes completely underneath the radar with this movie is Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Like, that's sex and
As Armand. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Like, don't you can't even deny anything like that.
Okay.
This movie is extremely well acted. This is a movie that reflects a period piece in the way that it should. This
I
movie
feel
also is such a pivotal vampire movie. Like, anyone that is into vampire lore has to watch this movie, read these books, because that's it's so important to anything that is vampire related in movie history and in novel history. So
I feel like this is one that is very
Extremely well acted by Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
I would never say I could not agree with that at all. I
Who's
think
not in
Keanu Reeves is horrible.
I think you're thinking of the wrong
That was
movie.
another movie.
Yeah.
That's the Bram Stoker Dracula one. There was like,
Thinking of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that was
I would
It
say
fucking suck. So
I feel like this is something over years discussing the movie. I find this is a very gender movie that's very goes along. Like, women I've talked to have loved this movie, while men I've talked to have generally hated this movie. I don't want to paint that as a brush, but it's something I found. Because it's interesting, we have Kelsey and Danny are fighting tooth and nail for it. I want to hear what the men have to say about it. I already know Jake has already got G tier, and he kind of was pretty loud about it. I haven't heard from AJ and
remember
Jude.
it. I think I saw it once.
fine.
It's pretty fine. Yeah, I just thought it was all right.
I think the guy who played Lestat in Queen of the Damned was
Stuart
better.
Townsend.
Like, fit the sexy vampire thing better for me. But
I'm not
you know what it
surprised by
did
this.
is good.
All vampires are sexy.
Andre
What it did
loves it.
was good.
Thank you.
I would
Lyle?
not. I would not
I'm
oppose.
gonna
wherever it's
abstain.
I don't like Buffy.
I would say my initial thought, honestly, for me is I understand why the women here love it. Like Kelsey and Dana love it. I would never put it S tier. I'd never put it. I would put it at a high. I could see it a B tier. I could definitely see a high B tier.
I'm saying mid to low B.
No. I want to ask you guys this, like, as a
B
serious
for
question,
boring.
Like, what about it as a movie makes you feel like it's not a superior movie? Like, does the acting not sit well with you? Does the writing or the story not sit well with you? Like, what specifically about the movie Interview with the Vampire?
It was boring, like Robert said.
And
I was a little bored to it as well. I didn't really love it.
That's my point. Like, what was boring about it? Like, what part of the story was
The
boring?
movie.
I didn't really. There's nothing about like just it was
It
it
didn't
long.
make me
it
want
was-
to go back and rewatch it after watching it once. Like, I've only seen it once, and it was years ago, and I thought it was okay. So there's no reason for me to go back to go watch it.
I can't point to anything specific as far as why I was bored by it. Like, I think Tom Cruise is fine, Brad Pitt is fine, Kirsten Dunst is fine, but it was never anything that did anything for me either. It was kind of like, it's good, it's fine.
Line
Is
up
there-
all the vampires in Interview with the Vampire. Then on the other side you line up all the vampires in What We Do in the Shadows, and then you make them fight.
They're kind of
And
cool as well.
then what happens is they're all kind of annoying vampire tropes to me.
Just to really quickly go back to Interview
But
with the
I
Vampire,
understand.
I think that that's what's so specific when Paul talks about the difference of opinions between women and men, because what Anne Rice puts into her story of Interview with a Vampire is a lot of tragedy inside of that story.
Yep.
So yeah, especially Antonio.
He was my brother. I loved him.
So the story, like the Vampire Chronicles, show you a lot of tragedy that's behind it, and especially when it comes to like Claudia's story, that's
Claudia
what
especially.
kind of takes me back between the opinions about this, because to not find Claudia's story extremely sad and tragic is kind of what's surprising. Like to feel like she was a boring character is kind of astounding to me, because like the idea of being trapped inside of a child's body for centuries.
As you're growing internally, your mind is a mind of a woman who wants to be a woman, and you are forever held back in that way forever.
Yeah,
and it wasn't your choice either. It was chosen for you by somebody else.
You were put on that. And it wasn't even like the fact that the way that she was turned is so tragic also. Like you thought you were saving her life, but you just damned her for the rest of eternity. And like the idea that something like that heartbreaking doesn't resonate with people is astounding to me. And I think that that's what's the difference between men and women. Not the romantic part of the story, but the empathetic part of the story of understanding like what happened to these people was extremely tragic, especially when it comes to like Lestat and the, I can't think of the other vampires. Louis, thank you. Like their tragic like homosexuality that kind of comes into it. Like there's so much more underneath the story than what was played into, and that all comes kind of into Anne Rice's novel that makes this so much more than just a regular movie. There's so much underneath the story that elevates the story so much higher than just being a boring movie.
Okay. I would agree with putting it ahead of Three Ninjas Kick Back.
Whoa!
I'll give it that.
Wow. All right. Wow.
I think that's some.
Alex,
I'm not saying
that's such a tragic thing to kind of also say. Like, find someone who's into pedophilia and you're good. Like, that's also so tragic, right? Like,
who the fuck is into pedophilia?
That's what I mean. It's very sad to think about stuff like
That's
that.
the only way you can.
All right. You're very impassioned. I can't see myself putting in an S tier, knowing that it'll definitely get knocked down. I would put an A.
Other than the story, the acting, like Kirsten Dunst was very young, and child acting is a big thing to kind of overcome. Look at everything that Jake Lloyd went through. So to not give at least Kirsten Dunst that, and this is a height of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in their heyday. Antonio Banderas coming in at this like 90s point. Like this was a very important intersectional movie for the talent that was in there. So regardless of how you personally feel about this movie, this was a big movie for the talent that was involved inside of it.
Yeah. My knocks against it would be I think that it's not shot very creatively. And these are the technical things. These are the things I think draw people out of it. Is that the cinematography, the sound design, the editing are very poorly done. I think that
I'm not a fan of this movie, but I would still put it ahead of
dry.
fucking Ace Ventura.
It's kind of dry in that way, in a way that sucks people out of the movie.
Wait, can we bring Alex on so she can explain this?
No.
Alex, come on stream right now.
I want to hear what she thinks.
If Alex wants to come on and talk about it, she's more than welcome to come on and talk about it.
So I think that for the story that's involved, I think that you're absolutely right. I think that's where I want to be for somebody who detracts from it. But I do agree with where it's placed currently.
Cinematic point of view for it, I think that it was a movie that was almost just a tiny bit ahead of its time, because that slow drag from the movie was what it was supposed to be, because it was supposed to be this longing. The point of the movie was supposed to kind of be this longing. I understand not understanding what the point of this. And honestly, like I'm saying this with not having seen this movie in maybe like a year or two. This is a movie that I do try to keep up with as much as I can. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I don't think the cinematography is bad.
So I want to jump in. I want to jump in real quick. I'll let y'all know that my opinion on Interview with the Vampire has changed because I have since gone back and watched the movie during this entire time y'all were explaining it, and therefore I do think it's a much better movie. Oh my
All
god!
right. I'm wrangling y'all in. We're gonna go with A's here for now.
Pretty Jackie just broke my fucking heart.
And then we'll just
Forrest Gump is a meh film.
We'll go. We'll talk more about that as we go on. Let's move on to It's Pat.
Oh, that's S tier, straight S tier.
No, that's C.
It's Pat
No,
is
that's
the first
That's straight
SNL
F
movie
tier.
that I can remember watching. I genuinely put It's Pat in the high C tier. I would put it above
here,
Drive.
but yeah, I agree with that.
It's a great movie. It's super funny. Watch it now. It kind of like it still touches on weird things. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I would like to revisit it to see if it is up to date with some of like
No,
Well, I'll just let y'all know it's never a banana in my pocket. I really just have a hard dick all the time.
One time. All right, let's. I'll put it at C tier for now. And
Jake, were you talking about a movie?
No, I was talking about you, Robert.
All right, Junior.
Junior was good.
It's actually
It was
one I've never
fine.
seen. I've never actually seen this Arnold movie.
I could see that in a B.
I put it in.
That's
It's
C.
fine right
That's
there.
C.
Well, above Double Dragon then.
Junior's
Yeah.
fun. It's so stupid. It is so
But it's good.
I do want to watch it because I'm going
They
to
have midnight showings of Double Dragon play, like with fans and stuff. They don't have that for Junior.
because it's an action movie.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah,
Legends.
actually, like
Legends of the Fall, better known as Interview with a Vampire, only without vampires.
Low B, high C.
B tier.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think B's there.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with B.
This is a Paul Denuzio movie if I've ever seen one.
This is a
Is it really?
watch this movie, Paul. I think you would
Why,
really like
Ed
it.
Harris in it?
No, Ed Harris is not in this
He's
one.
not in it. Otherwise, he would have seen this movie already.
He's the one who has
Ed
seen
Harris
it.
energy.
And woman. She has seen that movie that we've all talked about.
I have to watch that. I definitely have to watch that. It sounds interesting.
What the fuck is?
Perfect thought, Eric. You're right. You're not wrong. Okay. No. What about Junior? Perfectly timed. Perfectly
Yes,
timed.
that's what PLD Project is like, Eric. I'm not here very often. So.
Leon the Professional.
Hey.
This might be like the
A tier.
top
No,
movie that I
thank you.
haven't seen. Like one of the.
Okay.
I own it on Blu-ray, but I've never seen it yet.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Wait, how is that possible?
I would put it above Air. You know what? Honestly, with everything that's in A tier, I'd put it at the top of A tier.
Yeah,
I would put it. I'd put it behind Blank Check.
No, I leave it right where it is. Right
I put it
there.
way over Angels the Outfield, to be honest with you. I would take that.
Ah.
I think so too.
Yeah. Leon Perez is one of my great.
Leon.
I can see
I like
that.
acting movies, but look, Leon was like, you want to talk about child acting? Shit.
Yeah. I could
Yeah.
make an argument that this is S tier for me. I could make that argument.
Except it's going to fall right back down.
I feel like
You can make an argument that at that time. Oh, my bad, Danny. What were you saying?
I haven't seen it yet, but it just feels S tier to me.
I was
Like,
going
when
to
I
say you
see
can
it, I
make an
think,
argument that around that time when Natalie Portman was doing Leon and Beautiful Girls, that was some of her best acting.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, so, I mean, I definitely could say, I honestly would probably, to be honest, I'd probably put it here myself, but I will put it there for now unless anyone really wants to strongly argue somewhere else.
I haven't seen it, so.
Okay.
I do want to tell Alex in
Yeah.
the chat that the transphobia stuff for Ace Ventura, I did make sure to put that asterisk in there.
Put it in there. It's of its time, and we
We-
definitely argued it as of its time.
It's not good.
If that part does not date well, you're honestly true, but I don't know. We're not gonna. At this point,
Alex,
go
I
any
get
further
I
than
get
that.
what you mean, but it was a well done movie.
No, at the time, it's of its time. You can't. It's one of those things that's hard to argue at this point. Leprechaun 2.
It's good when you put it there.
That's D.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
I have
I
a
would
feeling
like it
that we're
over
gonna have
Gone
everything in S, A, and B, and then everything is haven't seen. Like I feel like we're not gonna have anything in D through F.
It'll get there. It'll get there.
It'll get there.
Although,
Absolutely.
Here we go.
depending on the haven't seen. All right, Little Giant.
S tier.
No fucking way
let's
that
see.
S
I
tier.
put that in B.
Little
It's
Giants
better
is
than Pat.
B.
B tier. Oh my. Okay, look. If we're gonna do this, then at least as someone who wants to argue this, instantly switch wherever Three Ninjas is. Wherever you're gonna put Little Giants, like if that's it, just switch Three Ninjas and Little Giants because
Whoa.
Giants definitely deserves to be above Three Ninjas.
I-
I'm sorry.
Juice
It does.
depending on
Different.
the
with
The
that.
difference is Three Ninjas is backed and supported by the Juice. Little Giants I've never even heard of.
Yo, Mike,
Damn.
have you honestly
That's
never
fact.
seen Little Giants?
I saw it as a kid.
My
What
dude.
even sport is
By
that? Is
the
it
way,
football?
I am not
It is football.
shocked.
It's Little Giant, like the New York Giants.
Bobrovsky! Oh my god, you've
Ah.
never seen Little Giants?
I'm not shocked that Caleb has seen this movie. By the way,
I'm
not shocked.
quitting the internet. I'm quitting the internet. I'm so
And that's
mad.
why he has.
Puerto Rico.
That's why
They don't
he's
even play football there.
All right. I will put it in
The
G tier.
annexation of Puerto Rico. Oh my god, it's the Little Giants. It does. It definitely look. If it deserves to be an A tier, switch it with Three Ninjas. Move it over.
Yeah, I'd put it above Three Ninjas myself
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely,
actually fine with
This-
that.
The juice is hurting. The juice is
Look.
hurting right now. He's hurting.
I'm sorry. Devin Sawa is in this movie. Don't play with me about this. Like Rick Moranis, fucking
Oh,
Ted
okay.
Bundy.
Now I like it. All right.
Ted Bundy is in this movie. The fucking Cowboys.
Wait,
against
Ted Bundy was in
Giants.
they let him out of prison and they put him in the kids.
Yeah,
He was executed before 94, so I'm really impressed.
actually Ted Bundy, who is brothers with Rick Moranis.
Wow. Okay.
Xbox. Oh my god, watch Little Giants.
Okay. Okay. Little Women, the 1994 version. I never watched that one.
Tier.
Who was the mascot? John Wayne
No,
Gacy?
I have seen it.
I've seen it.
A tier.
Who's never
I'd
seen
say
it?
solid B.
Wait. Who has seen it? That was this one. I have never seen it. Who has never seen it?
I saw it as a pretty little kid, so I don't really have an opinion on it.
This is
Then-
the best adaptation. I'm
So
sorry.
it's five of us who haven't seen it then. There's five of us who haven't seen it then.
Yeah.
So we got to unfortunately
Yeah.
put, unless we're gonna, are we having a veto
Does
or not?
anybody want to use a veto?
I'll use a veto.
Danny's using the veto?
I'll use a
Okay.
veto for Little Women. I'm sorry. Little
Thanks for
Women.
that sacrifice, Danielle.
I'm sorry.
But thanks for that sacrifice, Danielle, using your veto, because I would
I-
also
I-
agree to reading together.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold this to you because I think that Little Women definitely the 1994 version. I haven't seen Greta Gerwig's version. I understand that it's supposed to be a very, very good adaptation
I love that
of the
version.
book, a very updated adaptation of the book, but the 1994 version of Little Women, I saw it and felt like this movie was absolutely made for me. I saw it as an adult. I literally watched it this year for the first time in 2020, and it was a movie that I thought, like, I wish I would have seen this movie when it came out, because this movie would have been very pivotal to me as a person, especially as a young girl watching someone like Joe in this movie. Like Winona Ryder's character in this movie is essentially someone who I can look up to, like writing and stories. I wish I would have gone more into writing, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, Little Women 1994 was a movie that I wish I would have seen as a kid, and I have to veto this for anyone who hasn't seen it, because I love this movie very much. Even though it's a movie, an older movie that I have just recently seen, I believe that everyone deserves to see this movie because it's so good. It's so
Artist,
great.
I kind of want to
Go ahead,
not
Artie.
because you. So he trashed Forrest Gump, and I feel like just to piss him off.
All right. Anyway, before we get to there, all
I
right.
love
So
Lion
where?
I'm gonna watch it, by the way,
Oh,
Danny.
Danny, yeah. Where would you put it at this point?
I'm gonna put it in the A tier behind Interview with the Vampire above Ed Wood.
I think
As
it's better than Black Jack.
As the
Without
other
seeing
person
it.
who's fighting for it, I do agree with that placement.
Okay.
It was very important to me as a young girl. I did see it maybe not in '94, but it was probably not too long after that. But it also deals with a lot of issues like mortality and dealing with loss and things that like it's very pivotal to me as a child because it did deal with some stuff that I hadn't seen other movies that I can relate to deal with. If that makes sense.
Sounds good.
For
My
growing up,
mom liked it.
growing up for me, movies were like a shoulder that you could lean on and that you could cry on. And Little Women 1994 is a movie that I wish little Danielle had because it would have helped me so much in my life.
All right. Moving on to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I think. I
I
don't.
don't
I've
think
not
I've
seen
seen
the
that.
I've
94.
seen it. This is the
No.
Robert De Niro one, right?
Oh shit, I have.
Yeah.
It's
It's
better than
D.
Pat.
It's Kenneth Branagh directed, starring De Niro, Helen
Kenneth
Bonham
Branagh.
Carter.
It's better
It's
than
not
saw it.
better than it's Pat. Sadly, it's not better than it's Pat. I would put that at D.
I would argue that is actually in this range somewhere, but I liked it better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. I think there's some good stuff
It's
about it, but
it manages somehow to be less transphobic than It's Pat.
that's impressive. All right, I'll put it at D for now. Above Leprechaun 2 and above Don Juan. Is that okay for anybody? Does that matter?
I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
no, that's fine.
I haven't seen it.
Maverick.
That was good.
That's I would say high B, low A.
I'm good with that.
Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, A tier is cleared up now. A tier is filled. We have to move things down now, just so we know. All right, so where are we putting Maverick?
A tier.
I
High
like
B.
the high B.
High B.
Yeah.
I would put it
Yeah.
above Clear and Present Danger, I think, myself.
I personally would put it in A tier. I'm a big fan. I like Western movies. I like somewhat modernish Western movies, and I feel like Maverick came out at a good time. I definitely didn't watch it in 1994, but I did watch it sometime in the 90s. And fucking Emilio Estevez, yes please.
Okay.
Emilio.
On it.
Are we good enough for it there, then, you think?
Somehow Robert was the only person who didn't do that with the Bhutanese brother.
I did do it.
Oh
That's
shit.
funny. Yes, Alex, it is. It is a cult classic. Actually, it's not a great movie. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun. I do like
Yeah,
it.
just because it's a cult classic doesn't mean it's a good movie.
I do love it though. It is a fun movie. So, all right. So we're good with leaving that at the end of A for now. Anything higher than that?
I would put it above Ninjas and Little Giants for sure. I would.
Oh, not above Little Giants.
I
I'd
like
definitely
that.
above
I
the Three Ninjas.
genuinely
Well,
like
why not?
Maverick a lot. I would put it above Little Giants, and y'all heard me fight for Little Giants. So
All right. Juice. What about you?
It's just Three Ninjas. I mean, we're talking about Forrest Gump not being S tier. I mean, we should be talking about Forrest Gump being below Three Ninjas. That's all I can say.
All right. I'll
No,
let you
it's
do that.
fine. It's fine.
Okay, I'll put it there for now. All right. Well, we're not going to do that. All right. Everybody else was jumping on that. So, all right. Miracle on 34th Street. The
That should be A.
I don't like this.
Wait,
one.
that's the remake, right?
Yeah.
I haven't,
Yeah, I
I
don't
haven't
like
seen the
the remake.
remake.
I thought the
No.
remake was really good.
That's C.
I like this
Uh,
movie a lot.
It's fine.
It's a fine
It
movie.
doesn't hold up to the original, so
Tier.
it's C.
Oh, that's
think
not
C at
possible.
best.
So yeah.
I'd put it
love
more like
Ryan
D,
Wilson
but-
in this.
I would put it right there, high above everything else in C tier, though. I would still go that far, I think.
This is such
Yeah.
a good Christmas movie.
But not this version of it, though, comparatively.
Yeah, I would pick the original 9 times out of 10. Actually, 10 times out of 10 over this movie. I could
I
never
like
say
that.
this movie
I
is
agree
good.
with
Fine.
that. Definitely.
All right, we'll go with this for now, I think. We'll do this and then we'll move on then. Naked Gun 33 and a third. Now, remember, this is
A.
a 33 and a third.
A.
The B, top of the B.
I would put it in B.
Yeah, B seems
Um,
fair.
I'd go with top of B.
Top of the B.
Top of B. I do love the first one. Obviously, is like, and then the second one. I think they got progressively worse. Obviously, to me. I would put it above Three Ninjas. Sorry, Juice. I would put it above Three Ninjas. But
That's all right.
but I can see an argument against it too. So I'll let the chat. I'll let everybody else.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the first one.
Okay. What everybody else say?
I think it's good where it is, personally.
Yeah, I think it's fair where it is.
Because I think it'll probably get moved down. So yeah, I think
it's gonna get knocked down.
Okay. Natural Born Killers.
That's gotta be.
That is high A.
Yeah.
Top of A.
It might be below Leon. I'd say, like right there.
I actually would probably put it above Leon myself.
Yeah.
I have not seen
I'm
this movie,
Leon.
so I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, Kelsey, you got to see that movie. That movie is fucking great.
Yeah,
It's on my watch list. I just haven't done it yet.
Kelsey.
He and Juliette Lewis fucking killed that movie.
You will love this movie, 100%.
It's on my list to watch. I just haven't had a chance to.
I saw it maybe 4 years ago and wasn't a huge fan. I'm sure if I watched it again, I would like it a lot more. But
It does get better in the second viewing.
I'm sure.
Yeah, great Robert Downey Jr. performance too.
Brilliant.
Also, I feel like a lot of these movies, if you didn't watch them during the like mid to late 90s, like it just doesn't have the same impact.
I didn't watch any of these movies until after 2010, besides Three Ninjas and Angels in the Outfield.
Okay. All right.
So does that mean Three Ninjas gets knocked down?
It does. That's true. It does.
I almost want to. I know it wouldn't last, but I want to put Natural Born Killers in S tier for now until we have the other ones.
You have 7 slots.
Like that movie is fucking great.
It is fantastic.
I'm going to do that, considering it probably will get almost definitively will get knocked down.
It's going to get knocked
down.
But for now.
Okay. All right. I'll do it.
Yeah, because we're going to put Lion King and Shawshank up in there. So
yeah.
There's another
Just
one.
watched this literally like a week ago.
No.
No.
B tier.
I was.
Who has not seen Nell?
Not
seen what?
No.
It's Jodie Foster.
Nope. So Kelsey would have to decide
Veto?
to use her veto.
I'll save it. I love this movie, but I'll save it.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Watch now. Jodie
Watch
Foster,
now.
when she's young, when she's like teenage years, Jodie Foster kills it in this movie.
I've heard it's good.
The acting is very good. I will not use
Nell
my
is
veto.
good. Nell is really good.
Nobody's Fool with Paul Newman. Again, I haven't seen it.
No,
Nope.
I haven't seen it.
Not seen it.
Haven't seen it.
It's a C to D. It's average.
Look,
It's
I'm not
okay.
gonna go super far into this next movie that's here, but I will say that I absolutely loved North. I know a lot of people hated it. I'm not gonna argue where anyone puts it, but I would just like to
Who's
say
seen
for
it?
myself,
I haven't seen it.
North
Haven't
is
seen it.
I
one
haven't
of
seen
my
it.
absolute
bueno.
favorite Elijah Wood movies. It's kind of funny. It's kind of stupid. A lot of people hated this movie.
Wow.
It's not very well. I couldn't even remember who was in it, but there are a lot of cameos inside of this movie. Watch this movie. It's about a kid who's trying to get adopted. A bunch of families try to adopt him. He reaches out to each of those families. It's a very interesting, funny 90s movie. Elijah
enough.
Wood again. I very much enjoyed North.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so nobody else has seen it, so it's got to be the nobody haven't seen pile. On Deadly Ground. Steven.
Haven't seen it.
Oh,
Never seen
I haven't seen it.
oh, no.
I haven't seen
that
it.
Haven't seen
is
it.
a personal B, but it is definitely an E.
It is a personal B as well for me, but probably a definite E as well. But it looks like nobody else has seen it enough to rank it anyway. And I'm not going to definitely just my veto for that one. Basically, Steven Seagal movies, let's be honest real quick, I'll just say, they all are the same movie, just different titles and slightly different names. And that's about it. But all right. All right. I don't even know what this one is. Something Warriors?
Once Warriors.
I
That's
haven't
what it
seen that.
says. I haven't seen it. Or
So
heard
it
of
sounds like we're putting it in the.
Oh,
haven't seen it.
Once We Were Warriors, I think that's what it is.
Oh,
I haven't heard of it.
Oh,
Much less seen it.
I don't even know what year that was made. It's 1994 for the tier list here. So
I think I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it, so I'm going to say I didn't see it.
All right. Police Academy 7. Mission
Oh,
to
God,
Moscow.
No.
it is F.
S tier
Never
for me.
seen it.
S tier for me.
That's,
Oh, get the
that's
fuck out
F.
of here.
I
Michael
love it.
Winslow's a
I love
trash
all the
person.
movies. Is he? I don't know anything
Wait.
about him really in real life, but
Yeah.
Don't worry about
yeah.
which one? Let me look at this one real quick. This is the one that's the Mission to Moscow. Christopher
Yeah,
Lee.
Mission Moscow. Yeah.
I love it.
That was-
I love the. I do love the Police Academy movies, but I will know this is probably the worst of them. So,
Like the first 3 are good,
Yeah, it
but
was
after
horrible.
that,
I gotta tell you, I'm really a sucker for 6 for Under Siege, even though it's not great. All right, I'll put it down here though. E tier. Or anybody gonna argue that's not that? That's not anything better.
No argument here.
Okay. Never seen it. Palm Poco?
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Never heard of
What's
it.
it
Yeah.
called
heard
again?
of it, but never seen it.
Palm
Yeah,
Poco.
No.
We have a lot in this tier.
Is what it is.
I mean, if it happens,
Pulp
it
Fiction.
happens.
Pulp
S tier.
Fiction.
S
S tier.
That's cheers.
It's
That's-
highly
S
let me put it. That is
all
my movie that
fucking
I will
day.
argue forever.
Hold on that time. It is S tier. Okay.
Is it his best movie?
No.
No.
I don't think
Favorite
Um,
Just put that behind D2.
Put it. No. Put it.
I'm not yet. I'm just kind of putting
For
it
me,
down.
well,
For me, it's B tier.
Honestly,
for me, it's a,
Whoa.
I love
So-
We need to kick you off the stream then.
Hold on. All right. Go ahead, Kelsey.
I just love. I'll admit I didn't see it till semi recently, and it quickly has gone up to top 5 favorite films of all time.
Wow.
I love all the characters. It is my. I'm pretty sure it's my favorite, if not second favorite, Tarantino film. It's just, it's so iconic. I can't even put into words how much I love this movie. So
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Okay, so you're
out
the
of
Buck.
all,
You're arguing B, Buck.
I just, first of all, I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan, and I thought this movie was okay. I think
Wow.
everything in S and A is better, personally.
So how,
Danny.
how are we ranking these? Is this based off our personal preference, or like if you're not a Tarantino fan, then
Oh, I didn't do that.
then you're just not a Tarantino fan.
like if you're not a Tarantino fan, then I guess your opinion on Tarantino movies would not be as high as like
Yeah.
some like
That's
general.
why
public.
I'm not like fighting so hard that
Yeah.
you guys have it in S tier. I'm just stating for me personally, it's not one of.
Okay.
I think all the other movies above it are better.
I'm going to
It's
tell you right now.
not-
Fight.
I would put it between Clerks and Forrest Gump.
That's exactly
That's
right.
right.
But
I could agree with that.
I'm good with
I put it first,
Um,
but I'm not going to fight to
Wait,
put
wait,
it.
I'll give one other little thing. I would almost possibly put it before Clerks, just because both Clerks and Pulp Fiction were independent films at that time, but Pulp Fiction was easily the more commercially successful one.
I
Yeah, I
think.
agree.
Easily.
I
You know,
think
we're talking about personal
both make-
enjoyment.
Yeah,
though.
so we
Right,
might
right.
personally.
Personal enjoyment,
connect with
I enjoy it
Clerks
more than Clerks.
Okay, Danny, go ahead.
Pulp
Go ahead, Danny.
Fiction is, for me, Pulp Fiction would be the number one movie out of all of the movies on this list. I would put it ahead of Clerks. I'm not going to argue with where you all decided to put Clerks. I like Clerks. I do. It's not an S tier movie for me. I understand why it's arguably an S tier movie. Out of all of the movies that are here, it's just not in the S tier level for me. But Pulp Fiction is, in my opinion, the number one movie that is on this list. I think it is very well done. I think it is very entertaining. I think, regardless of where you stand on Quentin Tarantino, because I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Quentin Tarantino as a person, but I do very much like Quentin Tarantino movies. And I think that kind of says a lot about. You just kind of have to figure out where you want to go in that line with
All
it.
right.
And,
In the
and
interest-
where you stand with it.
I would not recommend watching the recut where they actually cut it to where it was
Oh,
in
the
like
chronological
chronological
order.
order.
Terrible.
No, you don't.
That's
That-
terrible. I mean,
That destroyed the movie.
All right. As a fan, as someone, I want to try to make this as fair as possible. We have a lot of different opinions about this. I personally prefer Clerks over Pulp Fiction, but I want to hear. I'm going to put it to a vote. Kelsey, you put Pulp Fiction first over Clerks. Jake,
Yes.
you put Clerks over Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction first.
You put Pulp Fiction first.
Well, wait, no. Clerks over Pulp Fiction.
Okay, Juice. What do you
I'd
got?
go Pulp Fiction over Clerks, but so far that's my 1 and 2 of everything so far.
Robert. Pulp Fiction or
I
Clerks?
could go either way with that one.
Give me a vote. Give me a vote. Give me a vote.
Fine, Clerks over Pulp Fiction.
Okay, Danny, you got Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
AJ.
Clerks.
Buck.
Well, you don't. Well, we already know where I think Pulp Fiction is, so yeah.
So you're going to Clerks. Okay.
Clerks, yeah.
Then by a 4-3 basis right now, Clerks is maintaining the lead by 1. So I did it fairly. I want to make sure it's done.
It's gonna move because there's
Yeah.
another movie on this
Yeah.
list that
There's
is
definitely
that.
at least
Yeah.
one on here that will top it.
Okay.
Maybe two.
There's a few.
I think there's 2 at least. Actually,
Queen
Two at
Margot.
least, yeah.
Never
I
seen
don't.
it.
That's
never
not one of
seen
them.
it.
I don't
Never
know.
seen it.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Quiz show.
He's on here.
I
She's
actually
up here.
have not-
No,
I've
go,
never
go ahead and throw that in F.
The movie, not
Because
the
of the
person.
name, right?
Okay,
Just because of the
okay.
name.
That,
One
that
back.
movie's sweet. It's like a B tier movie. It's not as good as Legends of the Fall, but
I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I don't think I can rate it.
actually, I put those right next to each other.
Right there.
Like, yeah, those.
To
me, those are
was.
It's not a veto thing. If nobody's.
No,
if
it's
nobody-
not fucking B tier.
I have no argument against that. I can't argue for it. So
I haven't seen it.
Kelsey has not seen it. Juice hasn't seen it. Who else hasn't seen it? Danny, Buck. Ooh, I guess we're gonna have.
Oh, so that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it hasn't been tier, I guess. Okay.
Okay. I don't know it well enough to really judge about it. So
It's
Now,
done by
who doesn't know
Robert
quiz
Redford.
show?
It's about a scandal of a quiz show, kind of like the guy that did Press Your Luck.
yeah, I
Where he-
know.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
I just can't
Great.
argue, so I don't
It's a
know.
fun watch.
All right. Reality Bites.
We need to see your screen again.
I have seen.
C.
I've seen it.
D.
Very fine. Very okay.
Yeah, C or D.
I think C at least. It's a fine.
How the fuck
If
is
it's
it's
gonna be
Pat?
on C, look, if
Still-
it's gonna be on C, it's gonna be on a high C. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a low B, a high C.
I like
Reality
the
Bites
movie,
is that
actually.
I like Reality
Yeah.
Bites.
I would put it in a low B myself. To be honest with you.
I like low B. I like it.
I would put it
Yeah.
over Legends of the Fall and Forwarding to the Funeral.
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yes, Paul,
Yep,
I
right there.
agree.
I'm
I
fine with
agree.
that.
Right there, yes, I agree.
Can I do a quick veto?
Right there. Yes, right there.
What's your veto? What's
We
your
got a veto.
My quick veto would be, it's Pat with somebody with trans people in my family and genderqueer friends. That is an automatic fucking F tier, and it's just upsetting for me to see it not that.
But it's Pat is not a transgender movie. Pat is androgynous.
No,
not a
androgynous.
Androgynous.
And
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
somebody with trans people in my family and genderqueer friends, I fucking hate that movie, and they do too.
I defer to AJ on this
I just want to.
I
just want to
because
veto
of-
that to F
of
tier.
what I know about his
If
life
you want to
and
use that
his
veto,
family.
If you want to
you
use
want to
it,
use it as a veto, I'm not going
Yes,
to argue for
absolutely.
it. I don't care about it.
Just
That's
right
what-
now. Can we just auto F tier that, please?
I just assume that the veto was used for when we haven't seen it, and then that one.
We
person.
that is the true case, but I'm going to make an exception. I'm gonna
Okay.
make an
Thank
exception.
you.
Yeah,
That movie is trash.
I
I
really
will,
agree with that.
I will
Never even
support
heard of it.
AJ on this.
Yeah.
So, all right. Going back to Reality Bites, then I'm okay with it on B tier at this point. If anybody's really arguing against it, I know a lot of people said C, but is anybody arguing it hardcore? Do they want to really fight for it being lower?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Okay, we'll move on then. Red. I don't think I've seen this one either.
Oh.
Anybody? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Richie Rich.
Yeah.
A tier.
It's
Good.
a shittier
No.
version of Blank
Blank
Check
Check.
to me.
Richie Rich is up there with Blank Check.
Kids movie?
Well,
Hold on, I can't
what
understand
are we talking about? Is that the red with Bruce Willis?
No, that's like later on. Red is.
That came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Richie Rich is up there with Blank Check. It's a lot of the same kind of ideas behind it.
Richie Rich,
Yeah.
I would put above Three Ninjas for sure. And everything that is in there, I would only put it in D tier just because everyone else here might want to put it in there. But Richie Rich was definitely a very favorite movie of mine. Macaulay Culkin, super great. That song that they sing to enter into like the rich vault is hilarious. I love that movie too. Classic.
Love Richie Rich.
I would put it at B, but I don't know if I would put it above Three Ninjas.
I'd put it above.
I'm putting it like in C tier myself. I was not a big fan, but
yeah, I was like, it's a shittier version of Blank Check to me.
What?
Oh,
Put Shawshank in F tier. It's a trash movie.
I'm
Put
not
Shawshank in F tier.
Is it?
I don't think yet.
it's like a she version of like Willy Wonka, but the kid's already born rich.
Go back to your room. And be
What are you guys talking about? Oh
It's
my god!
charming
Did
and
you
it's
watch
fun.
any of those?
Good. I was
movies?
about to say, let's bring on.
Andres,
Yes.
welcome, my
What?
friend.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? I had to listen
What up?
I had to listen to a couple of things where I'm like, wait a minute. Three Ninjas Knuckle Up? Are people actually defending that sequel?
No,
Not Knuckle Up. Kick back.
Kick
Kick
back.
back. Big difference. I don't like Knuckle Up. Kick back is good.
Everything after the first one just falls down a cliff. I mean,
When
I
they
agree.
play the
It's a high cliff.
light,
It's a high cliff.
bruh.
Wait. Is that true? I don't even know. I
No,
Yes.
Shay kisses him on the cheek.
no.
Yeah,
No,
He
we're
doesn't
watching
love
it
kids,
like-
but
Kisses him on the
it's
cheek and
a lot.
says, "I'll be waiting like when you get older." It kind of a joking format.
Here's the thing, guys. If we
I want
click at all the
to put
movies that are problematic in the 90s, there are no movies left.
Oh, we'll be here all night.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's move forward now.
none of
Ricky
y'all are
Rich.
defending Pat. Fuck you.
Ricky Rich. I don't know.
I would give that like a C. I
That's what I said.
I'd actually go higher, but
I'd go C tier myself. I will let it slide here for now.
I need to rewatch it. I know it's like one of my brother's like favorite kid movies as a kid. He liked it more than I did, so like I'm bringing some of that into this, wanting it higher. But I think I personally enjoyed Three Ninjas more, so I'm cool with it being there.
All right.
Just as someone who did not grow up with a bunch of friends, just the idea of someone like trying to like earn friendship and the friendship surrounding that movie was very fun for me.
I hear everyone's thoughts on this next one.
is that Sailor Moon?
It is.
Is it Sailor Moon?
It is
I've
Sailor
not
Moon.
seen Sailor Moon, so
I
that
I probably have, but I don't know.
Is it Sailor Moon?
it
Yes.
looks like Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I'm
Sailor
not an anime guy, so I've never really seen it. So I don't know. All right. Who has not seen it?
I have not.
I probably have. I
So
don't
1,
know.
2, 3,
Okay,
4,
well,
5.
There we go. We're doing it and they haven't seen pile of them.
Yeah.
How about this next one? I haven't seen either, so I don't know what it is. It looks like it's Satan Tango. Satan Tango? Is that what it is?
Satan Tango? That's
Yeah.
fun.
I have never seen or heard of this movie. So.
I've not
Nope. Haven't seen.
Nope.
Okay, here we go. That's good. Shallow Grave is one I have not seen either yet, but I've heard.
Haven't
great things
seen.
about it.
I haven't seen it.
It's one of those that wasn't available on DVD for the longest time, and then all of a sudden it just dropped digitally. So it's one of Danny Boyle's best, but I haven't seen it yet. And that's on my list though.
Oh.
That's true, Eric. I don't know. Alice would be kicking her ass about Sailor Moon. I know she likes it. Or like,
Yeah, I knew it was Sailor Moon, but I haven't seen it. All I knew is like,
Speed.
hey, this is A, baby.
It definitely high A.
That's S
Hot,
tier.
yeah. Like this is
It's
like
S.
That's a very high
Yeah.
Very high A.
Ew.
for it.
We could put more than
It's
7.
better than D2.
One at a time. All right, make an argument for S tier, Danny.
Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I can't put it above D2, so I'm gonna put it right where you have it, Paul, and say that is absolutely perfect. Nope.
Wait.
nope.
There is
Right
one
right
more
right
slot.
right there, right
One
there.
more slot in S tier, just so we know.
Then
Okay,
put it
Danny
in S
Centerpiece.
tier, right behind D2,
Well, it's gonna
because
come right
Speed-
back out.
Yeah,
Speed
it's gonna
has
move
kept
down.
me conveniently scared. Not conveniently, but like I am terrified of elevators from forever because of that opening scene from that movie. Can't genuinely terrified of elevators, y'all, because of
It's
that.
my
Means it did a good
second
job.
favorite.
Have you ever seen
Memory.
Devil?
Ever seen what?
Devil, the movie
No,
that
Yes.
I know
I
what
didn't
you're
know
talking
good.
about because it was set in an elevator is the exact reason why I did not watch it. I am genuinely scared of elevators. I don't like to be in an elevator.
All right.
I don't.
I'm gonna
I
throw
will
this
walk
out
up
there.
10 flights of stairs. I will.
Where I would put Speed at this point, honestly, would be there, but that's just me. I would put it below.
I put it higher before those two.
I'd put it above
My
both of those,
second
the
favorite
highest of
movie.
those.
I like it where it was.
Outside of the Matrix. Like,
Yeah,
I love Speed. I love this movie
Okay.
so much.
I think
I'm
the
not gonna argue too
Carrie
much about it.
movies need to be out of S and
You think Speed over Ace and Dumb and Dumber?
Sandy B.
Personally.
Sandy B.
but that's a rearranging thing. That's like an end thing. Just
Yeah. All right.
putting in
We could. I think we'll keep.
I would say
here for now.
readjust later.
Yeah. Okay. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, but the stories of Keanu Reeves having a crush on Sandra Bullock and her not realizing it until way late is the cutest story ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Star Trek Generation.
I'd go A.
I
Haven't seen it.
Mhm.
This is a terrible Star Trek movie.
It's
This is
B.
no.
Oh, that's such a good Star Trek movie.
I love this movie.
I do too.
Not gonna lie, I love this movie.
The whole
I
thing with
fucking love
Data,
that movie too, but it's B.
Data with the emotion ship is so good.
Malcolm
Yeah.
McDowell. I mean, he was great in it, but it's B.
William Shatner and that line. You know, what is the exact line there? Is like,
What?
Situation? The odds are. I take it the odds are.
I couldn't hear it over the tears I had.
Sounds like fun.
My favorite is when the Enterprise is about to crash and the camera pans across the whole crew, and then it's
Yes.
about the day, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like that was so.
Yeah.
I put it honestly. I put it way up here. That's for me. That's my.
Yeah.
Vote. I put it.
I mean,
I'm not going to argue for it because I know it's one of the best Star Trek films.
As far
No, it's
as
not.
these movies that I would rewatch, I would definitely put it above fucking Ace Ventura.
No, well, the thing you hate that movie with a passion, so
Yeah, Jake, you're not allowed to talk about Ace Ventura anymore.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
Ace
with you on
Ventura.
that.
it is better than Ace Ventura.
But I want Jake. You already made your point clear. I guess.
Oh, no,
Did
I'm
you just
A-Bay.
tell me what I'm not allowed to do?
I'm not gonna. Well, because you're gonna say everything is above Ace Ventura. We understand that at this point.
You would probably
Hi.
say, oh no, actually no, that's a little far. I was about
Hi,
to say
I'm
you'd probably
AJ,
put
and-
Hat above Ace Ventura, but that's a little too much.
Not being Jake, I would just like to say that Ace Ventura is a B tier movie.
But you're wrong. So it's okay. Hold on, Kelsey's got
Kelsey.
it says so. We're
I gotta go to bed. So have fun, guys.
Bye,
I got my
Kelsey.
pick fixed.
Bye,
Hopefully
Kelsey.
it's staying yes here, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
So.
Hi, honey.
Good night, Cal.
See you again.
This is the worst movie out of the Star Trek movies with the Next Generation crew.
You're absolutely
Insurrection and
wrong.
Nemesis.
Insurrection and Nemesis are both much worse. Than
Both
them.
of those beg to differ.
Yeah, you are horribly
Yeah,
wrong.
I
That's
understand
so
First Contact being argued above it, but this is
Love you.
Yeah,
First Contact's
First
the best.
Contact could be argued for
Yeah, that's
being
true.
better, but the others, no, you're fucking.
They go
wrong.
down quicker than Terra Rita Margarita Monday. That's all I got to say.
Jesus Christ.
You had that one loaded, ready to use, didn't you, Paul?
You proud of that one?
So anyway, let's move. So I'm going to put an 8 here. Anybody else want to argue this way before I'm going to share it? Hold on, let's see, share it. There you go. I love it this much. I don't know anybody else. You want to leave it there for now and talk about later?
I'd say leave it there for now, and we can come back to it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
All right. Stargate. Ooh.
A.
It's low A, high B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not seen this movie in forever.
Nah, I haven't either.
I don't.
Oh wait, before I do anything, I'm not putting it there. I just have to bring things down. That's all.
I'd
We'll
say
try and come down.
I was about to say. I would say low A, high B. I'm pretty much okay with. Like it's one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies.
Yeah.
He also introduced me to what's his name?
James Spader.
James Spader. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm Billy Hader, but yeah, no, it's not Billy Hader.
I would put it right there myself. Anybody arguing against it at that point? Danny, I know you're a big little Giants girl here.
I've never seen Stargate,
Okay.
so I wouldn't put it on.
Yeah.
All right. Who else has seen it? Who else has not seen it? Should we? This could be. Maybe this is one I
I've not seen it.
not seen it. Not seen it. Okay. So the rest of us have, except for Buff. We don't know about yet. Or no, Juice. We don't know about yet. Sorry. Switch it up. Juice. Juice. Have you seen Stargate? No. Okay. So that's three of us that has not seen it then. Okay. All right, then we're going to rank it then. Okay, I'm going to put it at the high B above Little Giants. That's my thoughts. Anybody else who has seen it want to argue against that?
Sounds good.
No, totally fair.
All right. Then there's the rule. Street Fighter 2.
That's the cartoon.
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah, that shouldn't even be on the
Oh.
list.
That
Yeah,
is
I haven't seen that one.
totally
I've seen it, but I go back to the John Claude movie more
Yeah.
than I do.
And is that what's next?
That is
Yeah,
because
Yes.
I actually love the fucking John Claude movie.
I do
Raul
too.
I
and
do
Julia
too.
made this
But
movie.
you love it
Yeah.
because it's a terrible movie.
No, you love it because Raul
Okay.
Julia is amazing in this movie, and we should
Yeah,
all
he is.
appreciate and respect.
Name one person in Ace Ventura who did a better performance than Raul Julia.
Jim Carrey.
Bullshit.
You are
Jim
fucked.
Carrey.
Oh.
Wait, why are we comparing Ace Ventura to it?
Because Jake
No,
and
no, no.
You fucking
Jean-Claude
brought it
Van
up.
Damme did the same level of performance as Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura.
But people like Ace Ventura. No one likes Street Fighter.
I love
I'm not going to
Oh,
argue. if it's
you
a-
are insane, sir.
I will tell you that more people would say that Ace Ventura is a better movie than Street Fighter. I would.
Well,
I'd
they're all
vote
wrong.
We can take a
And I agree
poll.
with that statement.
It'll wait for later. I will take the L, but I will
Ace
get
Ventura
the
is
moral
one of
victory
the
later.
worst fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
No, you're obviously wrong, and that's okay.
You know what, Paul? Tie my shoes.
Nice. I don't know.
No,
I have
it's
to
not
agree with
nice.
Ryan Adams that it's got to be. It's whether you love it or not. I get loving a bad movie. I get it, but it's
I'd
not,
put it in C. Like I can understand it being a guilty pleasure, but
yeah.
It's
I would put it right there myself.
Yeah, it's totally way lower than Blank Check.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh well, I don't know about Blank Check,
definitely
so-
not better than Miracle on 34th Street, but I get it.
Let's move on for that.
I feel like you want to fight that one, Danny.
No.
I want to fight every one of you right now.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
oh, that
That's-
goes under Street
Reese
Fighter.
Witherspoon.
Haven't seen it.
F.
Solid
Yeah.
C. Solid
Okay,
C.
who has not seen it?
No, here's the thing. Y'all want to argue about movies about transgender? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this. Yeah,
And I don't remember that actually. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Leatherface is dressed as a woman most of the movie, and it's not even the real Leatherface either.
I kind of remember that now, actually, a little bit more.
And it's just pretty much terrible.
Well,
All
it's near the bottom, regardless.
I'd say here I'm judging it really badly, knowing it stars a lot of famous actors from Austin, like Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. Just
yeah. What's
All right.
All right.
Oh no!
Obviously, they didn't have Torchies as the catering.
no, Torchies wasn't out in '94.
Okay. Hey, Andres, you have something to say? See if you like.
No. It's for me. That's an F tier movie because it fails on every single aspect in terms of the scares, in terms of the visual, in terms of the effects, in terms of the writing. Every possible way a horror movie could fail, Next Generation failed like quadruple. Like it's kind of an insult to put it above Frankenstein. To be completely honest,
It's an insult to call it a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, I agree.
All
with
right.
that. Yeah.
I'll put it that low.
Yeah.
I don't really have much affection for it. So
The
I'll
only
put it
reason I
that
put
low.
it here
Yeah.
because
Much anyway.
I actually
I'm
probably
fine
get more
with that.
enjoyment out of
the
Mission
only reason I
Impossible.
put
I'll
it
be honest with
E
you.
is because you had that moment of like, oh, that's that person with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. Otherwise, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is so good. Who hasn't seen it?
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Not heard of it.
I
Haven't seen
haven't seen it, but
Ah, Priscilla, Queen
Okay.
of the Desert
So
is
wait,
so good.
Who has not seen it? Okay, now you're up here. One. Okay.
That's
Okay, Danny.
Well, moving on.
Oh, it's a movie about drag queen. It's a movie about drag queen.
Yeah.
I've heard about
AJ, if you're definitely on the right side of whatever it is that you're talking about, then watch Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, because if you have friends that are on this side of that, then you would enjoy this movie.
I have heard
a
it's a phenomenal
wonderful
movie. I have heard it as a great movie. I've never seen
It's a beautiful
I've-
movie. I love this movie.
I've heard of it being like drag queens. I've heard of it being big, like in the gay community. So
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his nice Patrick Swayze, right? That's what.
No, you're thinking of Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for
Oh,
everything.
I
Yeah.
You're not thinking of the right movie.
Don't worry, they're all the same.
Hey, Tu Wong Fu was dope though.
I
What?
love Tu Wong Fu.
No, they're
Tu Wong
not
Fu.
all the same.
moving on to
Tu
the
Wong Fu
fun.
is amazing. That was a
Tu
joke,
Wong Fu
Danny.
is amazing, and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is also amazing.
All
They're
right.
not the same.
The Client. I watched this one not too long. I like The Client. I think it's a solid action or solid courtroom thriller. I mean, it's not great, it's not bad, but I would say B tier.
I would put it in B.
Who's in that? I can't.
It's not as good as
Susan
Street.
Sarandon.
Tommy Lee Jones, Susan Sarandon.
Okay, it's
Right,
time.
Renfro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was to put it anywhere, I would put it in B, but right behind Clear and Present Danger, because it's very much in that kind of same. I mean, it's a John Grisham novel basically, but it kind of feels like it belongs in that category.
I could go with that. I could
Really?
I could argue
You want to put the U.S. Marshal and the Fugitive right next to each other?
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I would I didn't even realize that. I had killed my wife.
I don't care.
I'm okay with that. Though.
Do you guys remember that point in 2009 where every other character seemed to be jumping off of a waterfall?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do remember that. It just-
Like me and my buddy, we both went to test screening. Not test screenings, but press screenings all around town in Chicago because we were writing reviews. And anytime that would happen, we'd just look at each other and be like, "I had to kill my wife." Like
He just did a swan dive right off of this dam.
All right. I'm good with it there. All right. The Crow.
F tier.
Oh,
That's F tier.
That's got to be high.
F
No,
tier
the
for me.
movie's trash.
That movie was good.
Fuck off.
You know what?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that movie was trash.
Oh man.
As somebody who doesn't like The Crow at all, can I just say that it's better than Ace Ventura?
I'd be good with that.
Yep, it's better than
I'll be honest. I don't know if I want to
I'm
put Crow
good
in
with
S
that.
tier, but it's
I'm
good.
That's here, unless anybody
I
has
like
a
that
real
here.
argument against. I think it's first
really
of all,
think-
Brandon Lee would have been Brandon Lee, if he didn't die, would have been the top-notch action hero of the '90s. I think it has so much influence on comic book movies as a whole. The whole Nolan Batman trilogy, even movies like Spawn, everything else. It made a shit ton of influence, and it was a good, solid movie. And it was a comic book movie, so it helped comic book movies get made at that point.
It was
Well,
a good
Also,
adaptation. It
as
was
somebody
a
who
good
doesn't like The Crow,
adaptation.
can I put it above Forrest Gump?
I put it above Forrest Gump.
No.
No, I will.
I
I've
wouldn't put
never
The Crow
actually
above.
seen The Crow.
What
No.
the fuck? See it. It's okay. It's good. I've
It's
dressed up
okay.
in okay movie.
It's a
I've dressed up
ringing
as The Crow for
endorsement.
Halloween a couple of times, but
It's so much better than Forrest Gump. It's okay.
I love it, brother. So I don't know. What does anyone else have to say?
I'd
about
actually
it?
I would stick The Crow between like Speed and Natural Born Killers. It's really good, but I don't think it's definitely not S tier. Especially
think it's
again
better
because there's still a couple of movies we're about to throw in S tier, and The Crow is good, but it's nowhere near the level.
There's
of
a bunch we're about to
I'm
throw
with you,
in,
Paul. I like
but
it where
they're
it
all
is.
better than.
Thank you. I'm going to use my veto. No,
You know what? Like,
Are you officially using your veto?
I will use my veto to put her in S tier. I will absolutely 100% use my veto to put her in S tier.
That's something
Okay.
that I feel like Paul would do.
100%. 110%. I will not vote for it for me. Actually, for me, it's my number one. It's my favorite movie of '94. but I'll
More than Clerks?
More than Clerks. It's my favorite movie of 1994. And I saw this thing like 40 times in the theater.
Well, you dumb dick.
Legitimately loved it so much growing up. It meant a lot to me at the time. Great soundtrack, great action sequences. It's top notch.
Did you say 40 times?
40 times in the theater. Yes.
Caleb has even
I would also say The Crow also sparked my my interest in scores and soundtracks. Like that was the first time where I literally went, who wrote this? Like who legitly made the score? And that's where I got introduced to it. And then, you know, you go on to John Williams, you go on to all these really great composers. But The Crow was probably the first score I ever got as well too. So it's absolutely for me, it's everything I love about the '90s. But that's kind of my thing right there, though.
All right. I guess we'll maybe talk about it more later on, but I'll throw it there for now. Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's the top of S tier. So here, I made this point earlier, Paul. Walt, you stepped away for a bit before we started. Does this movie actually count because it was never actually officially released?
That's fact.
The only way to watch that movie is on bootleg.
Yeah, it was never actually officially released.
Yeah, it wasn't theatrical.
All right, then fuck it. It's going down in the.
That said, it's better than Pat.
Out of curiosity, who's actually seen it?
Here's the other thing. That the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, in my opinion, is better than Fan Four Stick.
I've heard that from some people.
You know what?
Fan Four Stick.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of character, and I'm a big fan of character development. And it really pains me to say this, but the thing is, the Roger Corman film actually nailed the relationship of the Fantastic Four more so than any other adaptation that has come across. Like Jessica Alba and what's her name?
Johan Griffith.
Ewan Gruffeld.
Johan Griffith.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
Johan Sebastian Bach.
non-existent. And it's almost kind of like even Michael Chiklis and Chris Evans kind of have you know, like they work, but they work in the polar opposites. Whereas when you watch the Corman film, they all legitimately feel like, for lack of a better word, a team. It's a much better interpretation of that. But that said, the budget does not like the level of quality for the relationships did not supersede the budget. So,
well, as far as individual performances, Michael Chiklis killed it.
Oh yeah,
easily.
He was by far the standout.
Fuck it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I didn't mean to derail this Fantastic Four discussion.
Yeah, I would say we could be talking about that movie, like how none of the actors knew the movie actually wasn't released.
This next one has the best fucking McDonald's toys of any time.
It did have some good ones.
McDonald's toys, specifically Happy Meals.
What movie?
I would like to speak first, and I would like to speak fast about this movie. The Flintstones 1994 movie. I pulled it up on IMDb so I can make sure I got it right. Okay, so John Goodman, Rick Moranis, Rosie O'Donnell, Halle Berry, Elizabeth Perkins, Kyle MacLachlan, Elizabeth Taylor, and a whole bunch of others. This movie taught me the word embezzlement. I love this movie.
I already knew the word.
Good Gucci word.
All of my heart. This is
Good
honestly
Gucci word.
one of my favorite movies that I watched as a kid growing up. I had it on VHS. I bought it on DVD. I bought it on Blu-ray. This is a movie that I continue to make sure that I watch. Charge it! Like it's a classic movie for me. I'm not gonna fault anyone for where they decide to rank it. For me personally, just where I would rank this movie is gonna be at an A tier because it did a wonderful.
I agree.
It adapted the cartoons so well. Classic stars inside of this movie.
Hey, real quick,
that movie was fun as hell.
So I got a quick trivia question before someone in the chat spoils it or whatever. Andres, you probably know the answer, so hold off. In the movie, they show a news clip of Fred Flintstone embezzling. Who is playing? I believe who is playing Fred Flintstone? Does anyone know?
Isn't it Goodman?
Andres, you know?
Jackie Gleason.
I think so.
It's not John Goodman, obviously.
It's not someone who's known for being an actor.
No.
In the news thing, you're saying the news article?
In the part, there's a part where they have an actor playing Fred Flintstone, like in a news deal.
I'm embezzling.
Yeah. Here's a hint. Me and Andres did a movie watch along on our Patreon to his first movie.
That's Sam Raimi?
Yep.
This motherfucker hitting us with 5-pointers. Like, that's not what this show is, bro.
She said embezzlement, and I was like, oh, that's right. That was Sam Raimi that played Fred Flintstone in that one clip.
That's right. I do kind of vaguely remember that now. All right.
I just love the one who played Sharon Stone in that particular scene where it's like, I'm embezzling.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I would put it in B tier somewhere, but I mean, I don't know. You guys are very strongly for it. It seems.
I
put it
is
above
a better
Airheads.
cartoon, the movie, than Scooby Doo. That said, low A is.
I would put it low A.
Low A is fine for me too.
It was
above Ed Wood.
Bedrock. Twist.
Oh, the B-52s.
Above Ed Wood.
Dude,
Above Little Women. Above Vampire. What are we talking here?
No,
above this is a
and
high.
no.
I would say it's below.
So it's top of tier then.
It was an enjoyable movie from my childhood, but it wasn't a cinematic fucking masterpiece.
All right, then we're talking Stargate, Little Giants, Maverick. Where are we putting it here then?
No, at the end of A.
It can't be. If it's not above Ed Wood, then it's down B tier already.
Let's stick it above Ed Wood.
That's what A ends Ed Wood right now.
That means you put Ed Wood
Can
on
we do
B
it?
tier is what Robert was
Put the
saying.
stone on top of the wood, Paul.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying, because Jay's not happy with that, it sounds like.
Which would you
I
rather show to
used
a
my
child,
veto for Ed
or
Wood,
Flintstones?
so I'm not happy.
What does everybody else have to say about it? Flintstones above Ed Wood or no?
I saw it on TV a few years ago and thought it was pretty good, but nothing better than Three Ninjas. I mean, come on.
Look,
Hey,
Jake,
guys.
you're gonna have to learn to get disappointed. Your wood's not gonna be that high for a while. I mean,
I'm disappointed every time I see your fucking face, Robert.
There you go.
Hey guys, I have to dip out because I have to work in a bit. Real quick before I do, Paul, I want you to screenshot where your tier list is right now, and then after you watch Legends of the Fall, tell me where you'd put it afterwards.
Okay.
Just whenever you do.
All right, I will definitely do it. Okay.
Okay.
You think I'd like that
'cause
movie?
I think
huh?
you will
Yeah.
love this movie.
All right.
Yeah, you'll like Legends of the Fall.
It's so damn good.
All right. I'll take you up on that.
I'll have to watch it too.
Okay.
All right,
Take
guys.
care, AJ.
You have a good night.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday, brother.
Take care,
Cheers.
bro. All right, 2 hours in, we're actually not too bad away on this point. Let's see, the Hudsucker Proxy is something I have not seen in forever. I gotta be honest.
It's been a long time.
I caught it a few months ago. C is initial reaction.
Wow. Okay.
Got a lot of haven't seen.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in there that we haven't not enough of us see because I don't know if you missed the first part, Andreas. Real quick, I should actually explain that to you. If the majority hadn't seen it, 4 out of 7 hadn't seen it, or 4 out of 8 or whatever, then we put it in haven't seen. We couldn't judge it. That's what we decided.
Okay.
So
That's when you get to veto.
unless you choose one to veto, you can choose
Everyone
one to
gets
veto.
one veto.
Right, so I don't know. Hudsucker Proxy. I haven't seen enough to really judge. I have seen it, but I don't know if I
Yeah,
can judge it.
If I don't remember it, does that go to not seeing it?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Unless anybody else has an argument for it.
well, that would have been my argument on that Three Ninjas then, because I've seen it, but I don't remember a single thing about it.
Yeah.
I had to go watch a trailer for the Three Ninjas one because I got all 3 of them mixed with me, so I'm like, which one is this one again?
All right. It seems like nobody's.
I don't.
heard us
Yeah, it's
argue.
not that. It's not
I've
good
never
enough
seen
to.
that movie.
I'm not going to
Okay.
veto for it.
The Jungle
fine.
Book with Jason Scott Lee.
See,
I saw it once.
I really liked it when
That's
I
a
saw
no
it.
from me, dog.
Didn't see it.
I saw. Okay, so let me see. Anybody else not seen it? Let's go with this here. Anybody who's not seen it? 1, 2. Okay, I guess we're gonna rank it then. I would put it myself. I just dropped it somewhere. There it is. I liked it. I would put it in B above. Well, I would probably put it above The Client, to be honest with you. But that's me. I don't know what else has to say about it.
Whoa, dog, that feels like some strong words right there. I liked The Jungle Book. I did not think that it was bad. I think maybe because I've already compared it to the other Jungle Book adaptations that are around. It's my least favorite of all of the Jungle Book adaptations. I don't think that it is above anything there. I think it's a high C. But
I wouldn't argue that.
A high B.
Just
like
below Street Fighter for me.
Yeah, like I would. Yeah, that's probably about where I would put it. There's some sort of like CGI that just doesn't sit right with me that I can remember and also can't remember at the same time. But overall, I thought it was fine. I just wouldn't make it that high.
I love me some Jason Scott Lee. I gotta be honest. I loved him in
That's why.
Dragon.
That's really why.
I would put it above Street Fighter for me because I think Street Fighter is a more rewatchable as far as guilty pleasure goes. But I think Jungle Book is a better made movie than Street Fighter is.
Yeah, sorry, I said Mortal Kombat for Jason Scott Lee. I meant Bruce Lee, the dragon.
The Bruce Lee story.
Yeah. More. Liu Kang was Robin Shao.
Robin Chu.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm okay. I will put it above Street Fighter for now. If anybody else has a disagreement, I mean, I know Brandon, you said below Street Fighter. Anybody else?
I mean, it's fine there. Like, yeah, it's fine there.
Okay. The Last Seduction. I don't know about it.
I haven't seen it.
Did I just watch this like 2 days ago? I did.
Really? Just in time for the stream, huh?
Who is in it? Who is that's
Linda Fiorentino, Peter Berg, Bill Pullman.
Yes. Has anyone else seen it?
I have not.
I'm actually like really curious. It's interesting.
Okay.
Really interesting. It's
Do you suggest we watch it?
Right. It's got that like basic instinct. Like she basically is right, kind of like pulling some strings and making moves. If you want to watch a cheesy Basic Instinct, then I suggest you watch it. Okay. If that doesn't sound good to you, don't watch it.
It's the prototypical 90s film.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, I literally saw it like last week.
The Lion King.
Oh,
this is number one. This is one of the ones that's going to go in front of Clerks. Yes.
Yeah. That's S number one right now.
It's the best Disney movie ever, live action or animated.
I think it's overrated.
Yes, absolutely. Like, still this day, there are certain scenes that I watch and I'm just filled with awe and I tear up at certain points. Like, it's one of the few films that still gets me to tear up no matter what. And it's so incredible. Just so good. I absolutely S tier movie.
I think it's an S tier.
You're still putting it behind Clerks.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I actually, because I would put it here.
No, you are so wrong.
No.
Definitely not.
I am in top three. Top three for me.
Number one.
You say The Crow is better than this.
110%.
Get the fuck out of here.
This whole fucking thing is invalid.
I have seen this thing 500 times and I'm overrated. I think it's overrated. I think that's tier.
So was The Crow. The Crow's overrated.
Shut your old ass up and put it at number one.
We'll come back to it.
Let's go. Let's take a legitimate vote.
We'll come back
believes
for
it
it.
should be ahead of Clerks? Who believes it should be ahead of Clerks?
No, we're not gonna vote yet.
Wait.
I believe it's ahead of Clerks.
One more point though. It should be number one for right now, but there's going to be another movie I would say that's probably still going to top.
Well, Shawshank is going to take it.
We're gonna get there. For now, we're gonna put. We all agree to S tier.
You put it at number fucking 5.
Listen.
Behind the
I'm not putting it anywhere. I'm just putting it in S tier for right now. I'm not putting it anywhere. I'm just putting it in S tier. That's all I'm doing right now. We'll talk about the rest later on.
I know what the fuck you're doing.
I'm just putting it in S tier for now. That's what we're doing. To get through everything else first, and then they'll have the fight at the end. Little Rascals.
Oh, that fight.
It
will be a firefight.
Where? What?
A tier.
Goddamn Boondock Saints.
A tier.
I see the thing is, for me, I absolutely adore
It's far the way.
Oh, I'm ready to fight right now.
Yeah, dude, I'm about to get on a fucking plane, fly out to upstate New York, and bitch slap Paul right now. I'm so like, no, for fucking Lion King.
You can't fight me over something. I'm not putting it anywhere except for S
The thing
tier.
is, I have to go to bed, so I have to get in all my thoughts right now, or I have to ask Jake, Robert, and Andres to please make sure Paul's not a fucking moron and put The Crow above The Lion King.
It's not that good. It's not that good.
I love how the entire time you guys are arguing, you have a little soundtrack underneath.
Hey, Paul. Wait, quick
Yeah.
second, everyone. Real quick second, Paul. I'm sorry. I hate your stinking guts. You are scum between my toes.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
I hope you vomit.
Okay. We're getting
This is Scream A tier all over again.
She's
I'm Team Danny right now.
We will get back
I got a
to
dollar.
this.
I got a
No,
dollar.
because I have to go to bed
Right now.
in like 5 hours.
Right now, we're discussing Little Rascals.
All of the
Paul,
cameos.
do not let me down.
The-
Do not
like-
put The Crow above Lion King, or you're gonna have to tell Ben and
A-tier.
Drew why
A-tier
I'm
kids
no
casting.
longer a general. Like that's
A-tier
how
kid
irate I
casting.
am
Okay.
right
I'm pretty
now.
sure he could tell Paul. He could tell Ben and Drew his ranking of Lion King, and they'll kick him out anyways.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would.
We do not
All
talk
right,
about
you guys have a
kids
good
not
rest of your
getting
stream. Paul, don't be a dumbass.
Take care, Buck. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
I
Little.
like high A, Little Rascals. I like high A.
Yeah.
I like it in A. I don't know about high, but
That's not saying that's kitty litter.
Yeah, I mean, we know you like it in the A, Robert.
You are so.
are you happy with that one, Jake? Are you gonna sleep well tonight, knowing that you said
I'm
that?
very satisfied.
Okay, just want to make sure.
This tastes like it came out of an old boot. Actually, it's a sneaker.
I can't believe you guys are arguing for this movie too. This is another C tier.
Look, Little Rascals is an A tier movie. I would put it above B tier because that's how much I love that fucking movie. I can literally recite that entire movie. Have I not been doing that for you for the past 5 minutes?
I
Because
know, and I'm the only
love
one who picked up on it too.
Oh, I listened. I knew we were doing that.
Oh, okay.
I would call it. I would call it B tier.
I would put it above the Flintstones. Absolutely above the Flintstones.
Does anybody else want it in A tier? Besides Danny.
I like it in A tier.
I'd put it before Interview with a Vampire.
people,
Yeah,
we
'cause
need your
Interview with
money.
Vampire.
All right, Danny.
There you
Danny,
go.
above Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, put it in front of Interview with a Vampire.
Step up for the 4'10"
And let Danny have inner
man-eating
arguments.
chicken.
Danny, is it above Interview with a Vampire?
Yes.
Then I'll put it there.
I will
I
watch
agree.
Little Rascals every single day at any point of the time. It is one of the
But
best
what about
movies.
what about Antonio?
I look that I get it. That's fine. He's
Why are you taking it to all these other different levels, man?
yeah.
Antonio
I'm talking about a
Still
classic
alfalfa.
musical love story, wonderful family movie that you can watch at any time of the year
Okay.
for anyone inside of the family. Little
got it, Danny.
Rascals.
I'll let
is
it
a
go there.
beautiful movie.
The Madness of King George.
Haven't
Never
seen
You
saw
gotta
it.
share the screen again.
Never saw it.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Matt
Never saw it.
George, yes, I have heard of it. Never seen it.
Anybody else seen it?
Nope.
Moving on. The Mask.
That's A.
In fact, I think it's the superior of all the Jim Carrey comedies.
I actually like it better than Dumb and Dumber myself. To be honest with you. I agree with that. But
I would agree.
I like
more Dumb and
anything
Dumber.
better than Dumb and Dumber.
you just don't like Jim Carrey. I get it.
Quick,
I saw it
what's the number for 911 Star? I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments and that's
Yeah.
I would put The Mask.
Above D2.
The Mask is above Speed.
I personally probably put it around here somewhere, but I can go with that.
Definitely above D2 because D2 is bullshit.
Not down with you.
Danny's fighting now. Danny's crying.
No. I don't.
clear.
Honestly, I don't care about anything anymore. I'm gonna watch The Little Rascals as soon as this is all over, and that is the only thing that matters in my life right now. Is watching that movie because I genuinely enjoy that movie so much. So.
Well, unfortunately, it's about to get hit to the beats here eventually, unfortunately. But let's see here.
That you can put it wherever you want. I know where I feel about it.
Never Ending Story 3. Pure.
Oh, that's garbage.
Yeah, here's a quick fun fact. That was the last movie that they made of the Never-Ending Story, so it did indeed end.
Sure, unless they're actually going to reboot it, supposedly. So maybe not. I've heard they're actually going to reboot
please,
it.
no.
Yeah.
No, don't fucking reboot that.
I've heard it. So this has not. It's not ending
Because
yet.
you have all the fucking connections, PLD. You're so fucking special.
It's called like reading Variety or reading. like reading a
connections.
All right.
Snyder.
Yeah, the most important phone call you're ever going to receive. So is that what I'm supposed to say? All right, next Karate Kid.
That actually wasn't that bad.
I like this movie. I like this movie because
fine.
there was a girl inside of that story, and it really. This was the first time I ever saw Hilary Swank in anything, and I liked that there was a girl there because I liked the Karate Kid. I enjoyed it, so to be able to see a girl in that role made a lot for me.
Put that up on B.
I don't care what it's
B? Wow, you guys are very forgiving of that. I think it was just a C tier movie. It has Mike Lyons I do like. It does have Hilary Swank, which I like, but it's definitely far inferior.
I would personally put it under Richie Rich, but it was decent.
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue for
better than the
anywhere
Jackie
where it
Chan reprint. It's definitely better than the Jackie Chan remake, but
Unfortunately.
I love the Jackie Chan remake.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Jackie
Actually, I like
Chan
Jackie
really
Chan.
wasn't that bad either.
No, it's just people want Daniel and want Mr. Miyagi, but the problem is that the remake, they went a completely different route with it. Which you know what? I rather have a remake that takes the thematics of the original but doesn't adhere to it, because then what's the point of a freaking remake? You might as well just go watch the original film.
I agree with that concept.
Yeah, except Jaden Smith is a horrible fucking actor.
Here's the thing. I also think that at the time, that's what a lot of people were really, really pointing at. Jaden Smith was a kid, and it, like, that's what a lot of people put that movie on, was Jaden Smith, and it's a shame that Jackie Chan is overshadowed by Jaden Smith's performance in it, and it's unfortunate because Jackie Chan is a wonderful actor.
I love Jackie Chan.
And I just think that it's just a bummer that Jaden. Me personally, what I feel against that movie is a lot of people just like put this pressure on Jaden Smith to be something because of who he is and who his dad is and stuff like that. And I think that followed him throughout a lot of his career, and that's why Jaden Smith is the way Jaden Smith is now.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't help him be a good actor.
What's better than Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan is Victor Wong in Three Ninjas Kick Back.
Oh, good. Better than Pat Morita.
I'll give you that.
Right, of course. But
okay. All right, I'll put it at the top of seats here then if you want to do that. I mean, I actually probably would like it better than Richie Rich myself. That's just me.
You know what? That'd be okay right there.
Yeah,
above Richie Rich?
I have no problem with that.
No. Not above Richie Rich. He said it's okay with it right there where it was.
We're like in the C tier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually might put that, but that's all right. All right. I'm going to argue over one place there. I don't even know what this one is.
The Page Master.
Oh,
The Page Master. This movie was so good. Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd, so many other people. This is a half animated, half live action movie. It's fucking about books. It's set in a library.
Who has seen it? Who hasn't seen it? Let's put that first. I have not seen it.
Books?
I have not seen it. Who has not seen it? Myself, Jake, and Juice. That's a 3-3.
Oof.
Now we have to change our rules because we only have 6 people left. I think if 3 people have seen it, do we put it in the not seen tier, or do we put it in? We rank it.
Does anybody want to use a veto?
I already used my veto,
Yeah,
so
you're
if
done.
anyone else has one available, I believe that this is a good one to use it on, because genuinely, this is a beautiful movie. It's a wonderful movie. It's a great story. Great
What I'm hearing
animation.
about this, Danny, is in 1994, if you made an animated family movie, that Danny loved it then, pretty much. That's what I'm hearing out of this entire list at this point.
No, but, I mean, I remember seeing it way back when in the 90s, and like it was a really good film. The only problem is I actually haven't seen it in a couple years, and it's one of those things where I remember really liking it a lot when I was younger.
I think I've seen parts of it. I think that's what it is. Like one of the things I saw, like, was on cable once. And I was like, oh, it's kind of okay and kind of cool, but I never actually watched the whole thing to rick it.
It was another movie made to capitalize on the popularity of Macaulay Culkin at the time, just like Richie Rich was. Although I would say Richie Rich was the better movie of the two.
It was, but it was also a very good story to tell for any child who felt completely lost and alone and a lot of stuff and could only find themselves inside of books. So the way that they go about the story, it's but like the way that I get it, I totally understand it. I can see like where like the vague similarities of that are in there, but the movies are completely different. Like you can't like if you break down those movies, they are completely different. The overall maybe basis of the story, you could argue that, but like the way that they go throughout the stories and I feel like I can't get a good description of like what the villain was inside of this movie, but this is just a really good movie to watch. One of those underrated movies that not a lot of people watched, I feel like, because it did capitalize on the Macaulay Culkin era 100%. Like there was a lot of movies that did that. The Good Son also came out around this time.
I like that one actually.
That actually was really good. That was actually really good because it was a dark side to him.
Yes,
yeah,
that
like
was a really good movie, but this movie with Christopher Lloyd was also such a great, and the way that they did the half live action, half animation was one of the first times that you had seen anything like that inside of movies, especially like around that time. So this movie was just great. I wish I could veto for it. I'm sorry that I've talked as much about it as I have, but I genuinely enjoyed this movie.
All right, I'm throwing an audible real quick. Just don't everybody flip out. Just everybody shut up and calm down. I'm just moving Shawshank to the S tier, and we'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about the end.
You're moving it to the front of the S tier, though.
I'm just putting it in the S tier for now.
Just put it at the very front, and I don't think any of us would argue.
Putting in the S tier. I'm not doing anything else with it. I'm not going to worry about where I'm putting it. At the very front of the
S tier, no one's.
We're moving on for now. The paper.
Share the screen.
Thank you. That's why you're my assistant today, because Austin's not in the screen today. The paper. Did anybody else not? I have seen it. I enjoyed it.
I have not seen it.
I've not seen it.
I don't. Yeah, no.
Oh wait! Now that I see the I have seen this
Michael
movie,
Keaton?
but not
Michael
enough for me to
Keaton,
remember it. I could not. I know I've seen this movie 100%, but I cannot tell you anything.
All right, I'll put it in the Dunst here. I would say it's a good film to watch. Not like a must see, but it's a good solid film to watch. River Wild. I have not seen the River Wild.
I've seen River Wild. It wasn't bad, but
okay, who has not seen it?
I don't think I have.
Okay, that's 3 to 3.
I've seen it. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Same thing with the last one.
Andres, go ahead. You can tell your piece about it anyway. Go ahead.
I really dig River Wild, but you know what? It's not one of those films where I'm going to stand on the top of the tower and just be like, "Oh my God, River Wild! Everybody should preach about this film." It's like
it would look weird.
Yeah, but it was a really good 1994 film. Like it's one of those that I just watched on Netflix not too long ago. Surprisingly enough, it still holds up. It's just an okay film, but I like taking away the nostalgia. You know, whatever you guys want to do with it, I understand with it. I will fight for other movies on this list. I see one right there, and I'm gonna probably have to use my veto on that one.
On this one, Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is high. I could see that potentially even being argued for tiptoeing into the S tier.
Oh,
because of how strong of a holiday movie it is now.
I would just like to say that it's called The Santa Claus because I feel like the part of it is a very important part of it because it's a movie that's actually about the actual clause.
Yeah. Well, if you just say Santa Claus, then you're talking about that movie with Dudley Moore. Although they spelled Claus like his actual name and not a thing in a legal document.
I would put this right here myself.
I really enjoy the Santa Claus. If Eric is still in the chat right now, he completely opened my eyes to a different perspective of this film. What if the entire film was basically a plot from the elves to basically get Scott Calvin to accidentally kill Santa Claus? Because there's a moment in the film early on where all of a sudden he's just going like, well, what if I choose not to believe in the spirit of Christmas? And all of a sudden Bernard just looks at me and goes, then you're gonna kill the spirit.
There will be millions of unhappy children around the world.
Yeah. And the thing is, all the yep, it was a coup. That's it. Yep. Yeah. It was a coup. And the thing is, right at that point, you see all those elves looking at him as if they're about to murder him if he doesn't take the car. And there's a moment where he's like, you wouldn't want to be responsible for killing the spirit of Christmas now, would you?
Someone needs to cut like a movie trailer like that.
I like that idea.
Cut it as a horror movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, so where do you rank it then? I would put it in the A tier. I'm fine with it being in the A tier.
I'm good with it in the A tier.
Anybody have any arguments about where it is in the A tier?
I would put it behind Angels in the Outfield. But
yeah, I'd prefer Angels in the Outfield in front of it, but other than that,
Andres, you're the strongest proponent.
I'm perfectly okay with it. As long as it's an A or S, I'm completely fine. But A is completely fair.
Okay, so we're moving Airheads down to B. Taking Gun down to C. Rich story down there. Miracle down to D.
That's
wow.
funny. That's so hard, man.
All right. Let's see. The Shadow. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen this.
Who has not seen it?
I've not.
Who knows what hearts lie in or what is it? Who knows what evils lie in the hearts of men?
I got to be honest. It's probably been
Donald
since
Trump
the 90s.
impersonator knows.
It's probably been since the 90s since I have seen it, so it'd be hard for me to argue. But I did like it a lot. I remember liking it a lot better than
good in a cheesy.
Yes, the cheesy way. It's a very cheesy way. Absolutely. Andres, what do you got to say about it?
It's just fine, but you know what? It's again, it's not going to be one I'm going to vouch for. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. But personally, for me, it's a very just pick up and go movie. Like it's cotton candy. So yeah.
Oh, right here.
My favorite thing about it is he doesn't look anything like the Shadow. So what they did is whenever he became the Shadow, they put like the prosthetic nose and everything on him. They made up his eyes and stuff. They're like, okay, so now you're just trying to make Alec Baldwin look like the comic strip character.
Pretty much.
Actually, The Shadow was a case of a mistaken movie because I remember seeing the end of Darkman and thinking that movie was badass, and I actually rented this thinking it was Darkman, but it wasn't.
Ooh, you were in for a shock.
Like you see it right there, like that face right there looks exactly like the final.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. I get that. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to The Specialist is still a movie I have not seen.
Stallone and Sharon Stone.
Yep, I have not seen it myself. Anybody else?
I don't think I've seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it, but I'm not going to vouch for it.
Fair enough.
It's just fine.
I will see it eventually. Time Cop.
Oh, I like Time Cop.
Hey.
I do love Time Cop. I love Time Cop.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I'm so glad everybody's on board with this because this is a movie that I constantly have to tell people, no, it's a Van Damme film, but it's actually a good
one. Andres, I wouldn't say everyone's on board with it.
I like Time Cop. I'm not putting it in A tier.
I've never seen it.
I would say B. Oh, hey, dude.
Flipper.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Philip?
I'm good. Internet is back. It went out last night, but I'm back now. I'm mostly just here because PLE implied that Shawshank might not be at the very top.
I didn't. I'm just not thinking about it yet. I just want to put it up
You,
there. And have
you definitely implied, and I will not stand for it.
Well,
So
welcome to the stream,
Yeah,
sir.
I will fight with you, Flipper.
We will talk about that at the end. Let's get the rest of it under control. All right. So Time Cop, A tier or not? No for Danny. No for anybody else. Jake, you wanted A tier, right?
What's that? Time Cop? I would put it low A, high B.
Okay.
Streaming anywhere because I need to watch that.
I would put it right at least. I honestly would put it above Blank Check myself.
Yes.
I think I
would probably put it above Blank Check.
I think, you know what? Look, I think it depends on your taste and what you're feeling, but I think it's like you could either be like, you know what, Tuesday I'm gonna watch Blank Check, and then Wednesday I'm gonna watch Time Cop.
Fair enough. I get that argument. Juice, I'm sorry. Their ninjas kicked back because we dropped a C tier at this point. Unfortunately, I do apologize for that.
I will be happy if it's above D. That's where I thought it would be. So,
So you can rent Time Cop on Amazon.
Okay.
That's about it. It looks like.
Oh, they take it off Netflix?
I gotta be honest. I
Yeah,
would
it
actually
doesn't say it's on Netflix.
hear myself, but but that's up to you guys. I'd put it above Angels in the Outfield for me. I love this movie.
I put it above Star Trek.
I really dig this movie, but I had to take myself out of it and kind of evaluate it as it is. Low A, high B for me.
I think it's a B tier movie. I like this. This movie. I do, but like I don't think it's above Santa Claus or Angels in the Outfield for sure.
Wow, Starjuice got some really hot takes there. Over Natural Born Killers, huh? Wow. Okay. And Three Ninjas put it back in B. Got on their out. Okay.
Agreed.
Let's see. Had a few left. To Live. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
Or the one after it either.
Tom and Viv. No. While we're in here, everybody seen White?
Nope.
No.
Okay. True Lies.
That's
A.
got to be an A.
It's A. Yeah.
That's a high. That might be a top
Yep.
same thing for me.
I've never seen True Lies.
Oh, it's so good.
And that's the thing. I don't blame you for not having seen True Lies. The thing is that it has not been released on Blu-ray. It has not been on any streaming services. I saw it on HBO Now for like literally 2 weeks, and then it was gone.
Yep, I remember that too.
I had the opportunity to watch True Lies. I said it earlier. My mom worked at Hollywood Video, y'all. Like action and adventure movies have been a part of my life for a very, very long time. I had True Lies sitting in that weird plastic case that Blockbuster Videos and Hollywood Video movies used to come inside of. And it was sitting right there on top of the VHS for a very long time, and I never watched it. I just was, for whatever reason around that time, I just wasn't interested in that movie. I genuinely don't know what it was, but I had the opportunity to watch it, just never did. I don't know what it was about Arnold Schwarzenegger that turned me off at a certain point.
With the popularity of James Cameron, I'm surprised it's not more prevalent.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's what I mean. I know for sure it was an Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. I cannot remember what it was, but for whatever reason, I was not watching Arnold Schwarzenegger movies at a certain point.
No, when you dance sexy.
Dance sexy. I love this movie. I'm putting it top D tier.
What is the dialogue? It's cheap.
Oh, the whole subplot of Bill Paxton in that movie is so good. It's so good.
Bill Paxton.
Oh, Bill Paxton's in it. I'll watch it right now.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite Bill Paxton roles.
What do you think he's gonna be playing? Like he plays a badass in most of his films. This is one of the first where he plays like a
shit weasel. He plays a shit weasel. Actually, anatomy terms. Scumbag, motherfucker.
I love Bill Paxton as the scumbag.
You need to watch fucking Frailty.
I've seen Frailty. It's a wonderful movie. Bill Paxton is one of my favorite actors. I did not know that he was in True Lies. So.
All right,
Arnold.
So top A tier for me. Disagree?
Was that Tia Carrera was in it too?
Yes, that's what he was in. Yep.
AKA the red M&M's girlfriend.
Tom Arnold is actually good in this movie, and that's
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
saying a hell of a lot.
Him playing the caring best friend, like it's like actually the chemistry between him and Arnold actually
worked.
Oh,
well,
who was Arnold's daughter? That was
Liza.
Liza Dushku.
Dushku was in that as the daughter. That's right.
Oh,
it's ridiculous. It's fucking good. It is good. I'm putting it top 8 here over everything else at this point. Anybody disagree?
You convinced him with the Eliza Dushku.
Yeah, you got me with that.
Eliza Dushku.
You got me with my early 2000s crushes.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Let me move all this shit down.
And the thing that really, really kind of bugs me so much about True Lies right now is that it's an oddly underseen James Cameron film, and with most of the people of today's generation.
Yep.
But the thing is that they were working on a 4K version of this film, and immediately as soon as the merger happened, it got shut down because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit what Disney's trying to do now.
True Lies
and
The Abyss both. True Lies and The Abyss he was working on big transfers for, and he didn't get either of them done at this point yet.
Yeah,
I love The Abyss. I really like The Abyss.
Speaking of that, you're all lucky we're not here to argue Milk Money or China Moon, the two Ed Harris movies. That are
Oh, God. Milk Money was fucking horrible.
Milk Money.
I like Milk Money.
Milk Money was cute.
I like Ed Harris playing against type in that movie. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But,
of course you fucking loved Ed Harris.
Tell me he wasn't good in it. Danny, tell me he wasn't good in that movie.
He was good in that movie.
Thank you very much. Jake, shut the fuck up. All right.
Okay.
Anyway. And I would actually, all joking aside, if you do go see China Moon, it's a good movie from that year too. It was a very neat, the young Benicio del Toro with Ed Harris. Very good noir.
With Ed Harris.
Very cool. It's a very good film. And Madeline Stowe. It's a good film.
Yeah, like Benicio del Toro's the lead, and Ed Harris has like a cameo. He's
Ed Harris is the lead.
With Ed Harris.
It's a very young Benicio. It's 94. It is 94 is with Benicio del Toro, like really young. So Ed is the lead, and Benicio plays his partner. He's a detective, and Benicio's the young rookie cop. It's a good film. It actually really is a good film. So, but anyway,
do you want to wipe that cum off your face now?
Oh, good lord!
Son of a bitch.
Like it's a young Benicio del Toro, but not as young as he was in License to Kill. You remember that? He got straight up cocaine grinder.
I do remember that. I just watched those movies recently, and that was another movie. Yep.
All right, enough Ed Harris. We're 2 movies away from arguing
about
Del
Toro. Shut up. All right. Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
I want to put an A.
I do too.
But I
think
mean,
it's a genius film. You do not get Scream if you do not have Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah, because that's what really put the idea of going meta into Wes Craven's head.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm sorry that guy would say that if we had this big argument over Scream in the other episode, you do not have Scream without Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It was a brilliant revitalization of a iconic franchise. I thought it was really extremely well done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just rewatched it not too long ago for my 31 Days of Horror, and shockingly enough, this one still absolutely holds up. Like,
New Nightmare?
Yeah, New Nightmare. I know there's some detractors over it because they're like, oh, you changed Freddy into a story demon as opposed to a dream demon, but it's like, no, it still fits with that character, and just the places that they decide to go with the film, like it's simultaneously it's way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time.
I think that film, like as much as we love it now, it was sort of a mixed reception at the time. Like it scored really big at the box office during the first week, but then it trailed off because of the word of mouth. But it's so good, and also it has one of my favorite quotables, which is the nurse, who had like again, listen, see your fins. I'm like, I love that. I love that woman.
I love that every time they stick Miko Hughes in a horror movie, he always gets tortured.
That's so true. Oh my god, every time.
That poor kid will never survive a horror movie.
There is a really great story if you watch a documentary called Never Sleep Again.
Never Sleep Again.
Great documentary. Great documentary.
Yeah, fantastic documentary. But one of my favorite things that his parents would do Whereas, like, oh, hey, he's not getting the proper direction. He's not giving the right scare moment for whatever's going on. His parents would actually take him aside and like his dad would take him aside and would be like, your mom just died, and would literally throw him out in front of the camera. And I'm like, oh God. And like, you see it in certain points of the movie where he's just like nonstop crying. You're like, oh, those were terrible parents.
Like, he got it so bad that when he popped up in Spawn, I was expecting him to get like tortured by like the John Leguizamo clown or something, like get shot by Violator. I'm like,
all right. So where do we put this at this point then? What do you think? I personally put it right about here.
I would put it right about there too. But does that mean that Santa Claus
goes to B? Santa Claus was to B unless you want to put it above Angels in the Outfield.
You better not fucking put it above Angels in the Outfield.
I like Angels.
I know that I've seen A New Nightmare.
I know we just put a
If
demon above
someone
Angels.
would have told me that it came out in 1994,
Shut up,
I don't
Robert.
think that I would have believed it. I don't know what it even when it popped up on the list right now, I was like, this came out in 94? Fuck. For whatever reason, I felt like it came out later, like after 94, maybe closer to 99. That might have been whenever I've seen it, but for whatever reason, whenever I did see that movie, which definitely was not in 1994, maybe it was, and I just blacked it out because I've said for a long time, Freddy Krueger has been a haunting in my personal nightmares my entire life, so I don't watch these movies very, very often. But I know I've seen A New Nightmare, but I feel like it was older. So I don't know what that says about the movie. Maybe it means that it holds up in a way. Maybe it just means that Freddy Krueger has just been a nightmare staple for me my entire life, and I will always think that these movies are terrifying.
Right.
But I wouldn't know where to rank it in this list. I honestly wouldn't. So if I'm gonna put it anywhere for myself, I wouldn't put it above Angels in the Outfit or Santa Claus if my vote counts for this.
Okay. What's everyone else to say?
So it's fine where it's at.
I think it's pretty good there.
Yeah. It's gonna have to go down to a B, but it's still a good one.
Oof.
Do we really think Little Giants is better than Stargate?
That's somewhere I'm indifferent to that. I could do that if you guys wanted to. Pushing Stargate down to C, but in Little Giants above.
I love all the input that Philip is giving us.
Very true, Eric. Very true. I love that.
I told you I'm here for Shawshank.
He's only here for Shawshank.
And also,
Only here for Shawshank.
and also, like a lot of these that you've been discussing now, I haven't seen these, so I don't have much to contribute.
All right. Let's go on for now, Dan. So it's the last one. We can go back and discuss the whole thing as we go through. So, real quick. Wyatt Earp. Anybody? All right. How about Wyatt Earp?
Never seen it. So about Shawshank.
Anybody who has not seen it?
I've not seen it.
Okay, I guess it's going in that rank. All right. Now, let's bring it up to S tier. Let me have this argument. Here we go.
Number one movie in this list should be Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank is the best.
It's Shawshank.
100%. Number one.
Number one.
Put your ones up.
I'm there with you.
Well, I'm actually pointing at the Shawshank poster behind me.
I'm there with you.
Shawshank, Clerks, Pulp Fiction. It's the top three, so it doesn't matter to me.
I would still move Lion King up.
That's the argument we have to have now. Because I actually would agree with you guys that Shawshank is probably number one. I like The Crow better. That's my own personal thing. But like Shawshank is the better movie overall. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
For me personally, this is my dad's favorite movie. I have a very close relationship with my father, and we watch this movie together. So Shawshank has a very, very deep impact in my life, and Shawshank is absolutely my number one favorite movie out of every single list. Out of every single movie that is on here, it's a great movie. It's wonderful. Andy Dufresne. My dad's name is Andy. That's part of the reason why he liked the movie. It was a lot of fun. It's also a very great book. It's a Stephen King story. It's not.
Or
It's
past
not
midnight,
like it's
yep.
not a full novel. But it is a Stephen. That is great. Absolutely, 100%.
So we're all in green. Just
I would
make
say-
it number one.
Yeah.
I went to a college with Andy and a guy named Andy Dufresne. Actually, it's kind of funny.
It's
I
close
think
to a
I've heard
perfect movie.
It is close to perfect
Truly,
movie.
truly.
It really is. I'm not going to argue that at all. It gets better every time I watch it, and it's more solid every time I watch it. So I have no arguments against it being number one. It is a beautiful, beautiful film.
The scene where they kill young homeboy who knows the truth about Eddie. I can't remember that dude's name,
Tommy.
but like
Tommy,
You can
Oh my
take
God.
literally- you can take any scene from that movie and be like, you know, that scene.
Yeah.
And like
exactly. 100%.
Brooks was here is one of the explosions of emotions of all time.
I used to want to get that tattooed right here, so that's always been a very big symptomatic thing for me, especially for someone who deals with depression and suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. That specific, I've always wanted to get that carving tattooed right there because it means a lot, and it means a lot to me personally. So that scene specifically is
It's like out of the close to 1,000 movies that I have rated on different sites, I think like 10 or 11 are 10 out of 10s, and this is one of them. So
wow.
Yeah, it's on the top of IMDb, I believe.
It's the top of the IMDb top 250. It used to be in a battle with Godfather, but Shawshank's been pretty much number one for the past 10 years on there.
Yeah, there was a time. It was definitely recency bias, where Dark Knight Rises took the top spot, but
Dark Knight Rises
Shawshank
did?
took it back.
The Dark Knight.
You mean Dark Knight?
Oh yeah, Dark Knight.
Okay, that I can see at least the argument. Like I disagree with it, but I can see the argument.
But it had the top spot for a while, but then Shawshank took it back.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
All right, so we have that as our unanimous number one. That's fine. So now everything else.
Make Lion King number 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Make Lion King number 2.
Yeah.
Put your deuces up.
I'd probably have it at like 3 or 4, but I can do 2.
4.
Yeah,
3 or 4.
Lion King number 2. I would put Forrest Gump at number 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would, Shawshank, Lion King.
Oh, fuck. Pulp Fiction. Okay. Pulp Fiction number 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's my top 3: Shawshank, Lion King, and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure what order.
I would have said the top 4 are Shawshank, Lion King, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, because
Yeah.
those were the big 4 of '94.
I can't put Clerks below Forrest. I can't put Forrest.
I would put Pulp Fiction at number 2, and then Lion King, and then Forrest Gump.
I mean, I'm okay with Pulp Fiction at number 2, Lion King at number 3.
Yeah, either way works for me.
No, I'm fine with Lion King being at 2.
I'm okay with that too. The Lion King has to be in that upper echelon, I believe, because it's one of those films that screams 1994.
I mean, it's classic cinema, classic Disney, converted into a very classic Broadway show that went on for a very long time. It's a movie that deserves to be in the top 3 for sure. I personally believe it should be in number 2.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth right now with Pulp Fiction and Lion King on 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It's more of a how I feel on that day kind of thing.
That's the case, yeah. I mean, honestly, Clerks would be up in that conversation for me then too at that point. But
yeah, Clerks is a solid 4. It's a solid 4.
See, Clerks, I absolutely love as well too, and that speaks to me in terms of where I was in my life as well too, where I was working a bunch of really crappy retail jobs and dealing with annoying customers all day, and
still am.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like Randall and Dante are just like 2 sides of my brain. Like it speaks to everything I love. having said that, it's most definitely a number 4 film for me. Or like I've definitely seen Clerks a lot more than I've seen Forrest Gump. Right now, with this list as it is, I'm okay how it stands. But honestly, my only big objection is I don't think Ace Ventura is S tier. But you know what?
I was going to agree with that.
Ace Ventura is garbage.
It's.
I would actually put Dumb and Dumber where Ace Ventura is. I would actually swap Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
I will say that when I argued for Ace Ventura being at S tier, I did it with the expectations of it moving out of S tier.
Yeah. Dumb and Dumber is widely regarded as the better Jim Carrey movie than Ace Ventura.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would still probably
higher than Ace Ventura.
So I do want to say something really quickly about Clerks versus Forrest Gump. I think ultimately it comes down to the type of movies that you like to watch. Clerks has a very in-house sort of day-to-day, very low-key sort of feel. Forrest Gump is a very bigger movie, very, very out there, very much, I guess, more theatrical in a lot of ways. I think it just kind of, but so the difference between Clerks and Forrest Gump also is that Clerks is very much set in reality. Forrest Gump is very, very much a fantasy. Like that's just a fake reality. So it's a feel good movie in that sort of way that puts you inside of this Americana, this fake Americana that wants you to feel good about the country that we live in and the type of people that we want to be and stuff like that. And Clerks is the type of movie that puts it straightforward in your face, is the type of America that we do live in a sort of sense, and the type of day-to-day stuff for people that are in that type of grunt work and normal everyday sort of people. That's not, it's fantasized in a sort of way, but not to the point of Forrest Gump. Like it's very, very lightly, like it's just like you can't really have sex with your girlfriend behind the counter at a convenience store.
And nobody sucked 38 dicks on the way to the parking lot.
37.
So I think it comes down to the type of movie that you want to watch and who you are as a person. So Forrest Gump for me is more of a feel-good movie where I would want to see that, especially with the endings of these movies. I would want to watch Forrest Gump over Clerks. I would put Forrest Gump over Pulp Fiction also.
That's the saddest shit ever.
Danny, are you trying to say that life is not like a box of chocolates?
My argument for Clerks over Forrest Gump is that you could watch Clerks about 6 times before you get done with Forrest Gump. That's my only argument with it.
Here's the thing, though. Again, like some of this is our personal takeaways from it, but you have to acknowledge the public appeal of these movies. Forrest Gump was phenomenal in like the storytelling, the special effects, the way that they actually put in footage.
I want to interject this: as Forrest Gump has more appeal in a way because it's more of a family film, so it has more reach that way. Clerks is definitively an adult movie.
Well, Clerks was also
If anybody said Clerks was a family film, they're fucked up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As far as reach goes, it's automatically going to reach less than Forrest Gump does for that reason.
Yeah,
alone.
but that's
I disagree. I think overall I think Clerks meant more overall to cinema than Forrest Gump did.
Yeah,
did it?
It's played in every theater. Clerks
maybe
tried to play in a few theaters. And Clerks is an independent film, so it means a lot to you if you acknowledge independent film. But for what Forrest Gump did in the terms of its story and special effects, the acting in that, it's phenomenal. It's huge, and you have
the way that they integrated
You have to weigh Forrest Gump higher.
Yeah,
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump
Clerks means more to you personally. Forrest Gump is still a bigger, more weighted movie.
If I'm giving you guys Lion King at number 2, then
Danny has more to say about this. So.
That's all I gotta say.
Like the cultural impact of Forrest Gump is just like huge. Everyone knows the quotes and all that, and like I watched the whole like View Askew earlier this year for the first time. I hadn't seen Clerks. Didn't think it held up very well. It was like my bottom 2 of the View Askew movies.
I love the View Askew movies. I'm still trying to challenge Rachel Silverstream to a View Askew Schmodown exhibition while she's trying to challenge Kevin Smith.
I really like
Clerks
both.
is
I really
fine.
like
I
both
don't
of them.
think
It was
Clerks
just
is-
Clerks didn't really work for me.
Yeah, I agree with Philip on this. Like, I think Clerks was fine. I thought it was a great movie. Out of all of Kevin Smith's movie, do I think it's one of the better ones? No, I don't.
I would. I mean, I'm going to argue that I would think. I'll give you Lion King at number 2, but I'm going to keep Clerks at number 4. That's what I would have to say about that.
Nobody's talking about fucking Lion King right now.
We've already decided on that one.
That's because but I'm saying that I'd let the go without any more arguments because I would argue Lion King is worse than.
He's saying what Paul is saying, that he's not going to listen to our Forrest Gump arguments, and he's just going to keep the list where it's at.
I think.
Yeah.
I think in 100 years, Clerks will be talked about more than Forrest Gump.
What was that? Say that again?
I think in 100 years, like when it comes to film school and everything, Clerks will be talked about more than Forrest Gump.
I 100% agree.
I don't necessarily.
No. But here's the thing. I agree with that, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
For the same reason
Did you just say you agreed with what you just said?
No, you're not listening to the right people, Jake. Stop. Andres, go.
I'm in agreement that Clerks is probably going to be played more in film schools because of what you could do with so little and what that did for independent cinema. But in terms of the popular culture, like that, it might be. It's debatable going up against Forrest Gump, but honestly, between the two, it's
not debatable.
I mean, what we're arguing is that both these films are both great in their own sense, but it's just really a case of preference by this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Clerks was a big trailblazer for the independent film market, but Forrest Gump was also a really big trailblazer for big budget mainstream films.
We quoted Forrest Gump before we had even seen the movie here. Like in the schoolyard, everyone was screaming like, "Run, Forrest, run!" Nobody had seen the movie. We just knew the quotes.
The cultural impact that Forrest Gump had in society in America you can't argue against it. Like, and that whole point of that movie was kind of the meta commentary of the American experience and stuff like that. So you can't, you can put Forrest Gump in a lot of different arguments. So to say that I don't necessarily agree. I think it would be talked about just as much as Clerks would be in a film study school or anything like that, because again, what Andres said, they're very two different movies that are set on two different mediums of the same spectrum, because Clerks was an independent film. You can listen to Kevin Smith talk about what he had to go through to make that movie, as opposed to having like this crazy budget for Forrest Gump and what both of those movies did and the cultural impact that both of them had. They are both very, very set. It's crazy to think that both of these movies came out in the same year, because they are both two different movies that create this different type of conversation. Listen to how long we've talked about both of these movies now. So I agree that they're both very great movies. Andres is completely correct. At this point, it's just a matter of preference and where it is for that. Because
that's what I was trying to argue is, like, since all we're doing is just going around in circles talking about personal preference, like, remove the personal preference for a bit and look at the actual real world. Forrest Gump is the bigger, more popular movie. Forrest Gump had the larger impact on the world.
I would disagree.
As a representative for the rest of the world.
My mom knows what Forrest Gump is. My mom doesn't know what Clerks is. My mom doesn't know who Kevin Smith is.
I just realized we're still live and this isn't an after show.
I would disagree.
Go up to any one of your parents, yell the words 37. They will not know what the hell you're
We're
talking
not.
Here's the thing.
Like, one at a time. Andres, go.
Okay, you go up to any one of your parents and you yell the words 37. They're not going to know what the hell you're saying. But you go up to your parents and you say Bubba Gump Shrimp. Immediately, Forrest Gump pops in right there. Even if you're thinking about the actual restaurant chain, you're thinking about Forrest Gump.
Or any of the 10 other quotes.
Justin, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, of course, but this isn't a popularity contest. This is our favorite movie, so.
Well, that's what I said. We could be.
That's a popularity contest.
That is the definition of a popularity contest.
To help.
No, not we're talking about the world versus our little microcosm right anyway.
Yeah, that's why.
That's all I'm saying.
that's why I brought it up. Is that Forrest Gump has the more cultural impact than Clerks, and Paul was saying that he disagreed.
I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think that
here's the thing.
You're wrong,
That's not a thing to agree or disagree. It actually does. It's not a matter of opinion. It does have it won the Oscar for Best Picture.
I'm not talking
It's a
Oscars.
bigger movie, and I love Clerks. I would want to argue for Clerks all day. It is the bigger movie, factually.
Oh yeah, as in like it made more money. Yeah,
It made more money. It's more
I don't care
popular.
about
Everybody
that.
knows about it.
Impact.
It has
No,
more of an
you're wrong,
impact
Paul.
in general worldwide than Clerks did.
So
And I
other
wish I could say that about Clerks.
outside of like movie opinions, movie making opinions, and stuff like that, how I personally feel about Clerks versus Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump just makes me feel better. It makes me want to be better. All of that stuff. Clerks just kind of makes me think about movies. Forrest Gump makes me think about my life.
I think Clerks makes me think more about my life than Forrest Gump does. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it has a lot more to do with my life than Forrest Gump. I can't relate to Forrest Gump. I can relate to Clerks.
No one can
I mean,
really actually relate to Forrest Gump. If you can
I
actually
agree.
say that you relate to someone like Forrest Gump, then that's
I'm
something
just
that's
arguing your
completely
point. You're
different.
saying
But the point,
art is
no, but my
art
point
is
against that
subjective.
is that like
always.
sure, that's fine. But like when overall at the end of the day, like it's Dante's not like a person that you aspire to be like.
He's a dick.
I relate to him.
No, not at all. Like, why
I
would
relate to my life more, though. I feel more agreeing with that.
That's
than I
my
do.
point. That's my point. Like when I understand how everyone's point of view for going into movies is different, but I think like Forrest Gump is one of those movies that is meant to make you feel good. Clerks is meant to make you think.
I feel like sad as shit after the Forrest Gump.
I want to be like Dante. I wish I had a girlfriend that would bring me lasagna at work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And suck 38 dicks on the way to the
37.
37, sorry.
Get your number right. Get your number right. All right. Here, you know what? We have around circles. We'll say right now, we're going to go through this real quick. Jake, Clerks or Forrest Gump, which one are you putting higher?
It goes back to that whole thing about enjoyable versus impactful.
Okay.
I enjoy Clerks more, but Forrest Gump is more impactful.
So what are you voting for? You got to pick a position.
I'm Team Danny.
So you're picking Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Okay, Danny, you're picking Forrest Gump, correct? Andres.
Forrest Gump.
Justin.
Clerks.
Robert.
Forrest Gump.
Elite.
Forrest Gump.
It's because it's so Paul had all of these on deck ready for this. That's why he let us argue for so long, because he was uploading all of these to the StreamYard. So that is the only reason why we went on for an extra 20 minutes, was so Paul could go and find all of these memes.
Don't ever set it in Jersey for you.
He will neither confirm nor deny that.
Now, next thing is,
I see you deleted all of the overlays that made you look bad.
What can me and Danny do to swap Little Rascals with the Crow?
No, seriously,
Absolutely
seriously,
not.
fuckingly. Like, do I have to
will
flash
put
the
my
stream
foot
for
back.
that? Like,
he will.
Crow is remaining in S tier, and I'll give you. I'm giving you Lion King at number 2. I am putting Clerks at number 4 versus Forrest Gump. I am not moving the Crow especially for Little Giants.
You're not giving it to us. We just won the arguments.
And I'm stopping my arguments, and I'm letting it go. Crow is definitely S tier, and they will not hear anything else below that at that point.
How many movies are allowed on S tier now?
7.
You can put that up all you want. Actually, who's doing this, Jake? You're going to be kicked in about 2 seconds.
It's Jake.
Taking your powers away, Jake. Anyway, but no, okay. All right. Is there anything else you do want to debate? Really? Seriously, before we go on. All right. So we're good with all of the rest of this then at this point? Is everybody?
I'm personally okay with the S tier. A tier, I'm fine with that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, for me, D2 doesn't mean nearly as much to me as Mighty Ducks, or I actually like D3 better. But
what?
I like D3 better. But here's the thing. Again,
okay, I'm about to fight.
I know I'm in the minority with that one. So again, keep D2 right there. That's the only one. Like if I was to nitpick, that's the only thing. But I know I'm going to get overturned on that. So keep D2 right there. That's the
only reason D2 is where it is because of my argument.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your argument about that.
And it's better than D3.
But, all right. Anything else? All right. So I know Danny Wilker. I'll let it go here. You wanted to push for Little Giants into B tier. Are we ready to have that fight at the end, or are you gonna give in?
I mean, if anyone feels like I've never seen Stargate, so I can't kind of argue it. I have seen Flintstones. I am the one who argued for Flintstones to be very high. So I would just kind of say that maybe if you could swap it out for anything, maybe if you would swap Flintstones for high C and then put Little Giants in where Flintstones is, I would be happy with that.
I actually agree with that. That's fine.
So you want to do this?
Yeah.
Any arguments from anybody? I have no dog in the fight for that one, to be honest. Either way, they're both fine where they are, as far as I'm concerned.
So tired after arguing Forrest Gump.
Sure, that was a little tiring, isn't it?
Well, get ready to argue more, because I'm ready to use my veto to bring 3 ninjas into the slot of Forrest Gump.
Here we go. 2 more hours. We're going to talk about the Three Ninjas franchise. We're going to talk about how the original actors from the first movie weren't in the second movie. We're going to talk about how Surf Ninjas totally ripped off this franchise. And then we're going to talk about how these blue masks, yellow masks, and green masks totally...
But Surf Ninjas had the Sega fucking Game Gear.
I have never heard of this franchise.
Because we were already talking Surfer, and also I think Ernie Reyes Jr. was in Surf Ninjas also.
He was. All right, guys, that's it. I'm calling it. I'm pulling the plug. It's 3 hours.
I'm out. I gotta go bed.
This is our S tier. Shawshank number 1, Lion King number 2, Pulp Fiction number 3, Forrest Gump number 4, Clerks number 5, The Crow number 6, and Dumb and Dumber number 7, and that is our S tier. So thank you so much for coming on.
I'm okay with it.
Philippe, where can the folks find you?
You know they can't, so it's fine.
That's fine. That's true.
He's like, yeah, watching Shawshank.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on tweet in Swedish mostly, so it doesn't matter.
Andreas, where can the folks find you?
Everyone can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Galagos. You can also find my Twitch page, which is Galagos209, and the other thing you can find me on is on my buddy Steve Craven's High Voltage Media channel on YouTube, where we just did a retrospective review of the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. I was going to do a Friday the 13th stream on Friday the 13th, but unfortunately, yesterday my PS4 just died. So I'm going to have to figure something else out for Friday the 13th because I want to do something Jason related. But anyways, please go check out that retrospective. It's one of our best, and I think if you have problems with that remake, give that review a shot, and then you'll want to go back and see the movie.
I did, and I watched it again, and I agree.
It is a good Jason movie.
I didn't like it the first time I saw it, but after reading it, I read it, watched it again, I liked it a lot better. So, yeah. All right, Juice, where can the folks find you?
Check out What the Show on YouTube. The pilot episode dropped with Mike Deacon and AJ Lancaster as co-hosts. I am like the third guy. Jake was on the first episode. I was on the first episode. There's not an episode this Tuesday because of the election, so Wednesday I think is the next episode with Jader and Chance talking worst comic book villains. So it should be pretty good. There's some exciting picks that they made for that. But otherwise, normally What the Show Tuesdays, I think 11 Eastern, which means 8 Pacific, I think.
Yeah, correct.
If I can math,
All right.
yeah. All right, yep, that's it.
Robert Adams of the Cinefanatics, hit me.
I'm on the Cinefanatics. So you can follow us Twitter, Instagram at Cinefanatics MLP. I am at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter and Instagram. Tuesday night we are doing the Tagline. It's our show where we talk about movies. We're gonna have some fun this coming Tuesday. So and then we do the Schmodown replay whenever there's Schmodown episodes going on. We just did the replaying the horror free for all with Andres here and Alex of C2A. So that was this past Friday. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I think that's it.
Also, the Halloween stream that you guys did yesterday, we
did the Halloween stream. Last night on Halloween. That was a lot of fun to do because my brother does not like horror movies, so we actually got him to sit down and watch a horror classic, and he kind of liked it. So,
good for you. I like that.
What it was at the time, like he did it with an open mind, good perspective on it. So,
right. All right. Danny Joy, my lovely working wife. Danny Joy, where can the folks find you?
You know me, y'all. You can find me on Twitter at DannyJoy, DANIEEJOY. You can also find me not here, I'm sorry. You can also find me on the Call to Action YouTube channel hosting Chill to Action with Paul every Sunday. You can also find me on my own YouTube channel. This Thursday, I will be bringing back the Padawan Chronicles, where myself, Padawan, will be talking about The Mandalorian. We're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 2. I'm going to go over some reviews as a Padawan, someone who is very fresh into the Star Wars franchise. So if you want to check that out from my perspective, go and find me on YouTube.
That episode was so good.
So good. So good. Jake just dropped off. Jake, you don't want to say where you are? You want to give any socials or anything?
I thought you kicked him off.
I did. Anyway, go ahead, Jake. Tell us where you can find Jake.
Now my internet fucked up for a minute.
Okay.
I mean, you can find me on pretty much any time Call to Action is up. I'll be in the chats. You can find me on Twitter, Jake Iacovetta, JakeIACOVETTA. My name does not start with a fucking L. So all of you people who put an L on my name, fuck all of you.
Prince.
Wow.
But
who did that earlier?
That's where you can find me.
Okay. So anyway, for me, you can find me at Paul _Denuncio on Twitter. JD already told you all the class or the Call to Action stuff you can find me on. Also, Action Industries YouTube channel with Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy. A lot of different shows on there coming up next in the SCN network. And finally, I'm going to say we're going to do this again soon. Generally speaking, has been good. Like every weekend thing. Seems like we're going to do at least one per weekend when I get the chance. I think some upcoming topics we discussed with the generals amongst other people, perhaps Pixar, perhaps the DC, probably DC live action films. We'll do that. Definitely want to do a wrestling tag teams. Since we did that was the first one we ever did was a wrestling list. I want to do a wrestling tag teams one. And also musicians, probably do some band, because I haven't done music yet. I want to do some musician ones as well. And a couple other ones I was throwing out there. Action franchises we looked at earlier, Danny. What else did we look at earlier, Danny? We had a couple of ones we threw out there that we were thinking about.
I think you're muted.
We looked at Game of Thrones stuff.
Oh, of course, Game of Thrones stuff.
Like, Jamie, you're moving your mouth without activating your vocal cords.
I like that. So, a bunch of ones coming up. We'll see what's going to go ahead on this.
If there's one I can throw in there for you,
Yeah,
musical biopics.
Musical biopics could be good. I could see that happen. Biopics, that's good. I could definitely see that. And you know what? Thanks for hitting that like, subscribe if you have. If you're not, do it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see from this show. Maybe you can have some tier lists that you can suggest, and I'll take a look and see if they make the grade. We'll say so. Otherwise, that's it for us. I have no thumbnail to jump to, so I'll just go to the regular thumbnail. And we love you guys. Salute you. See you next time. Bye now.
Ciao. Squeeze it in.